Tier list time! Also, for reference, the bottom 2 tiers are not ordered because it doesn't matter. They're all bad. So first off, we have Little Mac. He used to be the second worst character, now he's the worst character. I don't care that Peanut top 8 at a local. This character is so inconsistent, so bad, you can camp them out on platforms, you can hit KO punch out of them, they barely have combos. The best thing that Little Mac has aren't even his ground normals. It's literally down tilt 2 frames into either forward tilt or side B to get kills. That's the best thing about this character. Otherwise, he struggles. A lot of his stuff is punishable on shield by most characters. He doesn't have aerials, doesn't have jump. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. I mean, he's still the worst, but it doesn't matter. Like, if you're like, oh, well, Little Mac is slightly better than Ganon. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Ganon also sucks. Got a little bit better because of the nerfs, or the buffs rather, for his up B. Still really bad though. His neutral still suffers. Disadvantage doesn't exist because it's so bad. His offstage is still terrible, even with the buff. It doesn't matter. It really, the character is just bad. There's nothing redeemable about this character. Literally nothing. Like, he has a top 7 Nair in the game and still somehow nothing redeemable. That's crazy. Next up, Dr. Mario. Still sucks. Still really bad. He's not mobile. You can run from Ganon, you can platform camp Little Mac, you can run from Dr. Mario. He doesn't have enough combos to make up for it. He has really good kill potential, but he's also going to die off stage. Like, offline, people can just slowly just stay out of his range, like, and just play mid-range the entire time, and he can do nothing about it. He has some okay matchups, because there are other slow characters that are better, but it doesn't matter. Like, oh, Pill doesn't actually do anything because he's never close enough. Or you just run away from it and jump over him because he's slow as hell. Like, you can never force interactions that are in your favor unless the person just is letting you. And also in bottom tier, this might be a little harsh. I think it might be a bit harsh. DK. I think this character is really bad. No, I'll put him in low tier. Not bottom tier. These are bottom 3. DK is still really bad. DK is a bad character. He has mobility, and he has good moves, actually. But there are so many things that are wrong about this character. His disadvantage is the second worst in the game. His neutral is okay, because a lot of things are just punishable, except for down tilt. I don't even know how safe is down tilt. Down tilt's minus 12. Wow, that's really bad. I thought that was safer. So, like, that's just punishable by shield grab. That's terrible. Holy crap. I thought that was, like, minus, 8 or something. That's so bad. Holy. So yeah, basically has nothing safe on shield. He has I think some aerials are safe on shield. And, like, dash attack can be, like, minus 2 or something. But, like, overall, just nothing is safe on shield, so anything he does is punishable on shield by most characters. He has a bad recovery. He can get hit out of it by, like, everyone. He can't get off the ledge. Yeah, he has, like, Ding Dong, and he has a couple of other good things. But if people just understand how to play this matchup and know what to punish, he literally just can't play neutral and can't play anything. His advantage is pretty decent, but it's not good enough to make up for all of his shortcomings. And again, these 2 tiers don't really matter, it's just I have to go over them at some point in some order. So next up, let's go over Isabelle. Her game plan just isn't good enough. Doesn't have a good enough way to beat shield because her command grab doesn't beat shield. I think she's just bad. Like, slingshots are the only redeeming quality for her, and her jab infinite, but jab, honestly, even somehow with jab down smash and jab forward tilt and all that stuff, still somehow bad. Annoying for like tall characters, but like it doesn't do anything. Like, over time, it just, and like, she can't even kill that well. Like, she has to edge guard you in order to get kills, but if she doesn't get them, then she's putting herself off stage, then die because her recovery has no hitbox. And like, I don't know, it's hard for her to get off ledge if you just like shield the immediate slingshot. Next up, again, these 2 orders, like, this is obviously separate from this, but this all, like, the order of this tier doesn't matter. I'm just talking about characters that are in this tier. Plant. Plant's bad. Plant has 1 game plan, and 1 game plan only, and like, 50%, or like, every good character just doesn't have to care about it. The edge trapping's not good enough, and just don't run into Patui, and otherwise he has like nothing. His edge guarding is bad. His super armor doesn't matter. His recovery is like annoying, but you can kind of still hit it for the most part. Poison Cloud is like, it's still in theory good, but it doesn't. You just avoid it. It just doesn't matter. It's not like he gains anything for you just waiting there. Just get all the super heavies out of the way. We got K-Rool. K-Rool is a bad character. If, again, you know how to punish Nair on shield, let's look at it. If you know how to punish this move, which I know it says -4, -5, but a K-Rool is not going to do it right before they land because they have to armor themselves for landing. So it's always going to be something like -10 or -11, or even -8 or something. Most characters have a 5-frame aerial. He loses to like every top tier. He struggles with literally everything. He has Crown, which is just bad because you just react to it. His Blunderbuss is bad because it doesn't matter and you can't actually edge trap with it because there's always an option that gets around it. He doesn't really have combos. Mash out of down throw. His back throw is really good. His back throw is like literally one of the better kill throws in the game, honestly. It sends at a terrible angle so you can get edge guards. But it's just, he doesn't have anything safe enough and he doesn't play neutral in any type of good way. And then you can just edge guard him. Like, he has one of the most edge guardable recoveries in the game, assuming you aren't like a really big character who can't grab the ledge and drop down and do stuff. Annoying online, but he's bad. Bad offline. To continue with the super heavies, hey, King Dedede. Bordo's annoying, but once you learn how to hit it back, this character becomes really bad. He's slow, doesn't really have that many combos. You can edge guard decently well, actually, with like back air, nair, and forward air, but nair sends up, so it doesn't really help. Multiple jumps. He has super armor in his recovery, so it's not as abusable as, let's say, K-Roll, DK, Ganon, Bowser. But, it doesn't do anything. You can either try to two-frame it, or you just edge trap him because he can't really get off the ledge. You just cover ledge jump. And that's all they want to do, because they're going to go like, jump, 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 back here. That's all they do. You can just slow the down against this character, and they can't do anything. Like, neutral is terrible. It's just a struggle. How safe is forward tilt? Like, their best move in neutral is like forward tilt. And it's minus 21. So you can drop shield 10 frame something. He struggles with like every aspect. And the buffs that they've given him don't matter. Like, Inhale's not good on offline, because you just roll away from it, or roll through him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this character's supposed to do. Also down here, Meta Knight. This character has no good game plan in this game, because sometimes he can kill you with dash attack, but also, that's all he can do. So he's going to play mediocre neutral with weird sword moves, hope he cheeses you, and if he doesn't, he loses because he gets out-killed and out-comboed and out-damaged and out-neutraled by most characters in this game, even though he has a sword. His sword sucks. He's good edge guarding with nair and back air for sure. Like, those are actually very good moves, but he has to hit you first, and I don't know, you just don't get hit. And also, some of his stuff just doesn't work. Like, I've seen so many times that, like, Meta Knights get the ladder combo, and then up B misses, and then they die to up air in bubble. Yeah, like, basically the only way he gets kills is nair, back air, forward smash, and forward smash, like, people think it's, like, the best forward smash in the game, or, like, somewhere up there. It's really not, because it's tiny. It is so small, it has no lag, but it's so small, so if you are hitting people with forward smash, you are hard reading them, in which case you are outplaying them. That's not a character thing. I don't know, I think this character struggles with projectiles, he struggles with range, he struggles with better close quarter combat characters, which is like every character. Next up, Lucario. So Lucario's kind of awkward, because I still don't have a lot of experience against him or watching him, to be honest. Like, he's probably my least understood character, that or like Mii Swordsman, but at least I run into Mii Swordsman on Elite Smash. Lucario is he's just weird. I feel like he doesn't have a good game plan besides hope that he hits people when he's at 110. His recovery is decent, but you can hit it, and at lower percents that's not that good if you have like a low percent edge guarding character. Again, the biggest problem with him is there are so many characters in this game that just kill like this, like that, like this, just at any percent. It doesn't matter, like so early, and like he's not gonna get rage or aura versus them. So he doesn't get aura against a lot of the cast. Like even some bad characters, like the ones that are already on the list, like K-Rool, Day-to-Day, like those characters, you're not gonna like get aura versus, because they're just gonna kill you. It's hard. It's a struggle, in my opinion, for Lucario to get a lot done. He has like a good matchup with Pikachu, ironically. Of the other top tiers, I literally don't know who else he can do good against besides like maybe Peach. So he just struggles against like a lot of the cast, because a lot of the cast is like, oh, we have these flaws, but haha, cheese at 40, and then they can just spam that, because if they're wrong and Lucario hits them, you take 20%, and then you just keep trying to kill him at low percent, and you win like that. I think he's much better online, because you're going to miss those kill confirms, and that's a big deal. But offline, I feel like you're just not going to miss that. You're not going to let him get back to stage. You're not going to let him land as easily. I don't know. I think he struggles. Another character that struggles is Ice Climbers. Ice Climbers has a lot of good stuff about them, obviously. They have their crazy combos. They have Side B, they have Blizzard, they have desyncs. But a lot of the desyncs are kind of fake, and they kind of just, you can always just jump around them or avoid them, especially if Popo's the one doing the special, because Nana can't go that far away from Popo, so you gotta pay attention to that. Obviously, they can lose half their character, and unlike Rosalina and Luma, they don't get them back for the stock. This character is really susceptible to timeouts. People don't do it because they don't care, but in theory, like, if you are up against Ice Climbers, like, if I'm at 30% and I kill Nana, and I will Thunder Jolt them and then run away the entire time, because they can't bring back a lead, because it's one Ice Climber. They don't have scary combos. They don't have anything. They're really susceptible to edge guards, even with Nana as well. People just don't know to like wait for Nana to grab the ledge, then run off and hit them. Like I feel like there's a lot of matchup inexperience against Ice Climbers, but I think overall they just struggle with a lot of characters, and also they have some of the worst matchups in the game, like 4 of them. Like Ice Climbers Pac-Man is like unwinnable. Ice Climbers Belmont is unwinnable. Ice Climbers Snake is unwinnable. Ice Climbers Min Min is unwinnable. Ice Climbers Shulk is probably unwinnable. Ice Climbers Game & Watch seems unwinnable. Like, there's so many bad matchups, like bad matchups for this character, and I don't know how they would get around it besides having a secondary. And if you have to have a secondary for like 7 or 9 characters, like you need to, or you're not going to win, like at all. That's a bad character. Plus, people just don't know what the hell they're doing versus this character. Like, this is a character that has a lot of matchup inexperience as a buff. Like, if you know the matchup and you know how to like kill Nana, and you realize that Nana can run through you, so just, you know, don't charge your smash attack for too long, character struggles. Another low tier, Incineroar. Incineroar is also bad. He's, in my opinion, better than the other these 3 super heavies because he has a command grab and a better way to deal with shield, and he has pretty good normals. Like right, down tilt, up tilt, forward tilt, up air, back air, nair. Like all those are good moves. But he's also the least mobile character in the game, and mobility is really important in a game where people can just jump over you or jump to a platform and then jump up. If you can react to side B, which you can do offline, now he suddenly doesn't have a good burst option because you just dash backwards. Or spot dodge it, or roll it, and punish him for it. He has a bad recovery, he has a bad way to get off ledge, he has a good counter, but also it's not really that good of a counter because a lot of people can just abuse it for, like, abuse him for countering. He does a ton of damage if he wants, and he can sometimes kill really early, but like against better players and better characters, he just doesn't get those opportunities. Even like mid characters, he doesn't get those opportunities. And if you're just playing the mid range correctly, like at the edge of his side B range, like he can't do anything. He has to like run and try to do something, but like the only thing you're scared of is like side B and short hop fair. Like Incineroar gets camped out, and obviously like you can't just spam projectiles at him because he will just revenge them over and over again. But like, I don't know. He just struggles in like every aspect of the game except for I got the hit. But even then, his advantage state is bad because he's so slow. So if you have like any type of get out of jail option in disadvantage or like anything like that, you just kind of avoid him. Also low tier. This is such a weird pick for me. I think Ridley's low tier. I don't think he has good enough tools or a good enough game plan to really end with a lot of the high tiers. He has decent hitboxes, but like I feel like they don't coalesce into a kit. Ridley, I was so happy Ridley was in the game, but I just don't think he has hitboxes that make sense in a lot of neutral situations. Like, he either has to, like, dash back F tilt or nair, and, like, that's it. Because, like, down tilt, I feel like, for some reason, isn't that good. Forward air's not that good. Up air's not that good, because it's kind of small. And, like, you need, like, up tilt, up air specifically, or up air's not really that good. You have side B, which, in my opinion, is good, but you can mash out of it. Fireballs are bad. Like, his 2-framing is amazing. Like, it's one of the best things about him. Like, forward tilt, forward smash 2-frames are very good. His edge pressure can be kind of scary. And he's a mobility. Maybe he's, like, the end of mid-tier. Like the bottom of mid-tier instead. Yeah, I'll do that. He's the bottom, but like he's still like a bad character. Like I feel like he struggles a lot with a ton of stuff. Okay, that was slightly out of order, which my bad. Another low tier in my opinion. I know they just won a local, but also locals are locals and not actual big tournaments where you're gonna play a ton of your bad matchups. The Belmonts. Dom's amazing, don't get me wrong, but I think that character is bad. Like, the thing about Ultimate is characters that are down here, you can still do well with these characters. Like, obviously, there's a PGR. Kirby Kid made it in Smash World Tour. Brood got, like, second at a major when Plant was still, like, people didn't know what was happening. So, like, this game, you can do decently well with the bottom tiers because the game is overall balanced. Like, the bottom tiers are, like, a 5 out of 10, you know? Just because that's how the game works. But I still think the Belmonts are really bad. They are not consistent because they are so exploitable off stage and they are so exploitable on the ledge. They have a decent amount of shield option in terms of up B. Their neutral's really hard, and if you're wrong once, you can potentially die because you're just gonna get hit and get hit off stage. Like, these characters aren't unviable. It's just like, hey, you're either secondarying them or you have a secondary, or you're gonna get 30-30 majors, at best. Or you're just hoping people up a lot, which still happens because the game is still relatively new. Maybe not now because of online, but like, in terms of offline, it was like, oh, the game's only a year and a half old. I don't even think the Belmonts have a decent matchup spread. I think like the only 2 relevant characters that I can think of that they have like a good matchup with is like Luigi and like maybe Ness. I don't know about that, but like maybe. I think they also do well versus Ice Climbers, as I mentioned. But like, I think their matchup chart is a lot of struggles. I think it's a lot of people not knowing how their setups work. So just again, matchup inexperience, stop neutral get upping versus Holy Flame, or like down B. Yeah, I feel like people just need to respect this character more in terms of like don't think he's like super bad. So you can't just like run over him. But if you like give him a little bit of respect, suddenly it's like, oh, all of your moves aren't working anymore. You stop getting hit by like the setups that they have. You like jumped, or you just held shield in certain situations that you can hold shield. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of situations where it's just like people don't know what to do versus this character, and I'm probably biased because I play a super mobile edgeguard hyper carry character, right? But I don't know. I feel like this character still struggles in a lot of situations, and people don't abuse that enough. And the last low tier, which I will make a video about him more specifically as well, but Marth, his buffs didn't matter. His buffs didn't help. Oh, dash attack's a little better. I've never seen a Marth dash attack in neutral ever. Maybe that was because it was bad. But I've never, like, it's not an applicable move. Neither is up tilt. Down tilt tipper doesn't really help, because Marth isn't one of those characters that's gonna down tilt for tech chases. I mean, he can, I guess, but like, it doesn't really help. And like, it's honestly worse to have a good tipper, because now you're gonna have more time to react and the guy up so you don't get put in the tech chase. Marth is just bad. He struggles to kill, he's not consistent, and even if he can get kills early, the fact that you can be in a tournament setting and not get a kill at 160 in the back air from like center stage because you didn't tipper is really, really bad. Like, that stuff just doesn't work in tournament. You can't just be inconsistent, because it's not like it's part of his game plan to not kill until 150. It's not like he does a ton of damage to combos so then he doesn't kill late. Like, you know, it's different when like a Marth lives until, or a Marth's opponent lives until 150, and Pikachu's opponent lives to 150, because I'm okay with that, because I did 80% in one combo, or I have all these other good things where Marth does not. Marth wants to kill at 80 or 90, and he just doesn't often. But yeah, the scene is more consistent, and she's scarier, because Marth just can't do anything. Like, Marth just can't. Like, Marth isn't scary. Or he's scary because in theory you might die at 50, but then you don't, and then you keep playing the game and you're fine. Next up is Kirby. I think Kirby's mid-tier. Kirby has a good crouch. Even though he's slow, and he can run, like you can run from him. I don't know, I feel like Kirby is definitely better than, whatchamacallit, a lot of people give him credit for. He has decent throw combos, he has a lot of good pressure, he has good aerials, he has kill confirms that start at like 50 with like the dare ride stuff. He has good normals, and he can actually low profile a lot of characters, which granted, you don't have to necessarily approach him ever. Like, there's a lot of characters that just run away from him. A decent, like, it's unlike these characters, because in my opinion, Kirby can get a lead and has an option to deal with offense, whereas these characters still kind of don't. Like, he's not a good character. Like, I was shitting on Ridley when I came up, and like, this is ordered now. But I think Kirby just like overall is a little better than people expect. You know, it doesn't have terrible matchups with some top tiers. He gets outcamped and outranged by a lot of characters, but he can get the hit, and his advantage state's actually pretty decent. Like, once Kirby gets the one hit, he can do well, and like, he's fast enough on the ground where he can kind of do that. And he doesn't have a terrible disadvantage like the heavies do, even though he's light. Kirby's still bad. Like, he's not a good character, but I think he's a little better than people give him credit for. Next up is Mii Sword Fighter. So Mii Sword Fighter, I think they're... I honestly don't know how big of a deal the buffs were, because I've played like one since then. So this is just me being a little cautious. Mii Swordsman probably is lower than this. I thought Mii Swordsman was quite bad before I put him like, you know, here or something. But he got buffed. So I'm going to let that he be a little better for now, and then in 13.0 when I realize what the buffs actually were, I will ignore him and then still call him bad. But yeah, basically, that's just that. I have no idea what the buffs were, and you don't know, you didn't touch any of the main kit. I know that. I know they didn't touch like Chakram Tornado, but also, oh my god, you can actually play him as a sword character a little bit. That's crazy. Like, you can actually have a burst option in some matchups, because some matchups he needs a burst option because he's slow. That's great. Like, that's good. Yeah, like, that helps, in my opinion. Maybe it's just better than... I mean, Chakram's obviously pretty good, but maybe he's better. I'm not sure. This is a character that I'm just kind of putting slightly higher for, like, I don't know. Basically. We got Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. is still kind of mediocre. He has the game plan that's kind of okay. He has a good grab, decent kill moves. Obviously, the forward throw buff, again, helped when that happened. But overall, he just gets outplayed by most of the good characters in this game, like anyone in high, top, and super top tier, which are just like half the cast. But Bowser Jr., like, if you know how to deal with Cart, if you know how to deal with his up B, if you know how to, like, mess around with Mecha Koopa, like, if Mecha Koopa, like, down B, rather, if down B just didn't put him in like 17 years of lag, he'd be like way better. Like, if he actually had like a projectile, that'd be nice. But like, Cannonball's still bad. Like, it's not as bad as it was in Smash 4, but it's still bad. But like, he has better things than this. Like, he still has like forward air, which is good. Like, just short hop forward air drift back is like a pretty good option. Back air's good, nair's good, up air's good, down air's okay. Side B's obviously a pretty good move if you don't know how to deal with it. Even then, it's still like, you know, it's one of those like Sonic where like, okay, well, I have to respect it and just like avoid it and then kind of come back. But I think Bowser Jr., like, even though he has good stuff, just doesn't have enough good stuff. Like, kills out the ass with jab and forward throw and back air and up B hammer swing and like side B spin out. But I think overall you're just not going to have enough good matchups or enough good anything in his it to basically win, if that makes sense. Next up is Byleth. I still don't really think this character's good. I know they got buffed with their up B and their side B, but I just overall think they're just so slow. And if you just abuse the speed of your character, and most characters have more speed than this character, they struggle. They have decent amount of shield with up B and nair, but like, I don't know, I feel like they don't have enough combos. I mean, I know they have IDJ stuff, but I've literally never seen anyone do it, and I don't know if that's just people being bad, or it being hard to like actually hit. He has good killing, obviously. You have down tilt up air, you have up air in general, up smash, down smash, back air, forward smash if you somehow hit it. But like, I feel like overall this character is like a slightly better Marth, where like you don't really have anything to like force situations except for like the one tech chase thing with nair. The grabs are kind of bad. If you know how to DI against this character and know to like when to just respect back air, like things get way easier. I don't know, this character struggles, even with the buffs. It's like, oh, side B's slightly less bad now, which is like important because slightly less bad is still less bad, but it's still like, oh, it's minus 16 in the air. That's pretty decent actually. That's pretty good. But like, again, you're hoping that people are super far away from you, in which case why don't you just land safely? Next up is Banjo. Banjo has good stuff. He really does. Neutral B canceling into side B. You have, obviously, Grenade is annoying to deal with for a lot of people. He has a great 2-frames. Really good 2-frames. Like some of the best 2-frames overall in the game. With down tilt and side B and forward smash and down smash. But he just kind of needs to waste his resources to recover. Doesn't have strong enough combos. Doesn't have enough good neutral tools. So, like, he just kind of is in this awkward middle ground of like, I want to camp, but also my camp tools aren't that good. And then also I don't really get that much damage. Kind of weird. Like, I feel like you have to hit like a couple side Bs in a game in order to like win with this character, and then a lot of the good characters force you to use side B off stage, so you have like one chance. Or you're gonna just die to recovery. Like, his recovery is very exploitable if he doesn't have his side B. His airspeed's also really bad. Like, his 2 double jumps don't even like help. Next up, Villager. I think Villager's a better camping character than Banjo, because he doesn't have to waste resources to recover, and also he has really explosive, like, he has better out of shield options, better mid-range, honestly, because Slingshot's annoying to deal with. He has Lloyd Rocket, which is very good. He has Tree, which means you either get Tree or Axe, which are both good. He, like, controls the stage really well with it. And he has Forward Smash. Forward Smash randomly kills people at 50, especially off stage. If you have a bad recovery, he just goes, bleh, and you die. You just explode. He does struggle in a couple areas because he still doesn't really have a good answer to shield because his grab is really bad and slow. You can get edge guarded pretty hard because, again, you can just like double jump aerial and pop both balloons. That's definitely like good. But he has a lot of good stuff about him. He could go up in my opinion because I know Pokelam is really good and I want to see what he does more offline at like not locals. I think he's really, really good. But I don't know, again, you can do well with bad characters, big D's PGR. So like one person doing good doesn't necessarily mean that the character is good. It just means like, oh, like sometimes you either do well or the matchups aren't as bad. Yeah, also the South Florida Villager, Javi, is very good, but I knew that. He was a menace in Smash 4, so. Yeah, next up, Jigglypuff. I think this character's busted, but she gets walled out super hard. But if you get the hit, oh, this character is scary. This character is terrifying. Down air, loops, peek forward air stuff, edge guards, Pound is really good. There's so many good things about this character. But obviously she is super light, dies to like everything, and loses to projectiles. And a lot of characters in this game have projectiles, and a lot of characters in this game have things to wall her out. Whether it's hitboxes like Pikachu's up tilt, or like Game & Watch's Nair, or projectiles like Charge Shot, or Shadow Ball, or Flame Breath, or Thunder Jolt, or Rosaluma Side B. Like, there are so many projectiles that can just keep Puff out, but like, you have to play so careful against this character. So careful versus this character. Because if you don't, you're gonna die. But I think Puff is really strong, but she just gets walled out by a lot of characters, so she's slightly lower than she normally is on my tier lists. Normally I have her on like Cloud. But yeah, like Rest is crazy, and like there's so many true combos into Rest, and like Sing Tech Chases, like she has a ton of good stuff. She might again go up in my opinion, but people are getting better at neutral, and people are getting better at not getting hit, and if you do that, Puff just can't get in because she's not mobile enough. Like she's so explosive that, like, even though she loses a ton of matchups, those matchups can definitely be in her favor because she gets rests and she gets the down air, she gets the up air. So next up is Zelda. I think this character is one trick, and if you can deal with the one trick, you have a reflector, you have ways to deal with what she wants to do, you know how to deal with her advantage, and like most top tiers and high tiers can do that. She struggles. I'm bad at it, personally. I want to play Ven again offline, but I feel like this character just doesn't have good enough tools. She doesn't have like a single, like if she just had more, like 1 or 2 more combos with her normals, I think this character would be high tier, but she doesn't. So you have to rely on projectiles the entire time, and you have to rely on people getting frustrated, and you have to rely on people not knowing how to deal with Phantom or continually guessing wrong. Like Phantom is a crazy move. It's so good, but that's like mostly all she has. Like she has really good kill potential with up air and obviously her lightning kicks and up B out of shield, even though you can DI it kind of. I don't know. I just wish Zelda had got like, I mean I don't because it'd be a pain in the ass, but I wish Zelda got like her down B nerfed and then her normals buffed. Like I would love that kind of redesign for her to make Phantom like good, but not like, you know, over centralizing for her kit. But yeah, I wish she was better, because like she's so cool in concept of just like a half like, well I guess a lot of characters in this game are like zoners plus close up like Pac-Man and Rob, but Zelda deserves to be good. Maybe not with Phantom killing at 70, but still. Next up, and this is, you're gonna start seeing this part of mid tier is kind of where it's like, oh, these characters are good, they're just not good enough, and that's Toon Link. But I think Toon Link is down here. I think he's mid tier. He's mobile, fast. He doesn't have that many combos with his normals, and so a lot of the time, again, he's going to be relying on boomerangs and bombs, and he doesn't have like he doesn't have like fast get off me options. Like obviously he has up B, but like in terms of like aerials, so he doesn't have just like, he can't just like pressure you with a ton of aerials because he's floaty. So like short hop aerial, like on landing is really slow compared to let's say Link and Young Link. So he doesn't get that, so he's mostly going to be a projectile character, which is fine, but his projectiles are slow. It's not like it's like, suddenly all these projectiles are coming out at you. Like, his projectiles are all slower than Young Link. And like, bomb is good, and you can get like Z-drop bomb into up air, Z-drop bomb into back air, you know, he has up, he has a shield, he has good options. He has really good options. But I think overall, he just doesn't have enough to contend with the better characters. Or he does, but he loses 55-45 to all of them, or 6-4 to all of them. Plus he got F'd on. I apologize, Marvelous Marco. I think Bayonetta is next. I know people think Bayo, like there's been a recent wave of people being like, Bayo's top 20. And that's not true. People just don't know how to fight against this character because everyone went, oh my god, I don't have to know anything about this character because she's not Smash 4. But she still has plenty of good tools, but they just don't work if you know what to do versus the character. Heel slide is not good. You should like basically never be getting hit by it because a lot of the time, like she doesn't have a good grab. So a lot of the times, if you're scared and neutral, you can just shield and then like roll away potentially or like jump backwards. She does get like 60% off of a hit or 50 even with an SDI, even with SDI. Like you get like up beat out of shield into like side B, up air or something like that, even with good SDI. You're generally not going to die if you know how to DI versus this character, and I'm not going to go into that because that's very like depending on position and what combo starter you got hit with, what percent you're at. But SDI up and down like really mess with this character, like really, really hard. Even though she got buffed in the recent patch with like jab killing better, she still struggles to kill because that's like a frame 9 option, and generally you're not gonna like get hit by run up jab because you're already scared of like run up down tilt or run up tilt, which are faster. Because like down tilt back air if you're bad DI, up tilt back air. Witch time got better, which is cool, but I don't think that's gonna make that much of a difference. Her witch time kind of sucks. Shield camping's broken. Versus this character, and she has to like get hard reads with up smashes or like really close witch time, and if you're hard reading your opponent, again, that's you, not the character, because a bunch of characters can do that. So I think Bayo is overrated currently, which is weird to say because a lot of people thought she was bad. Speaking of characters I think are bad but people think are good right now, Mewtwo. A lot of his stuff just doesn't coalesce into a kit. You have to get hard reads. You have to get hard reads with down B. You have to get lucky with your opponent not SDIing out of your nair in like the correct ways and stuff. Obviously tail hurt box, he's big, he's light, so he gets edge trapped super hard. And if you know how to deal with teleport, he becomes way, way worse. He doesn't have enough damage or anything to deal with the top tiers because a lot of his damage is coming off of Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball is not that good because he doesn't have a really, really good like air to air. Like forward air's good, but it's not like Samus forward air good. And he doesn't have the disadvantage to like over and over get these neutral positions like Samus does, like with bomb or just like going to the ledge and stuff. Like Mewtwo doesn't have access to that. So like Shadow Ball, even though it's good, like it's a good move, really good. It's not as good because it doesn't work in his kit as well. Like, if you just DI out on a lot of stuff, things stop comboing. Like, down tilt, if you're not right next to them, which if you're right next to them, it's punishable. Like, so if you get the tipper of down tilt, which is mostly what you're gonna hit with down tilt, if you just DI away, you're never gonna get comboed into forward air or anything. Yeah, his IDG stuff is nice with, like, double jump up air, because, like, that was the thing in Smash 4, too, like, double jump up air into forward air and stuff. But, like, overall, I feel like he has to just work too hard in too many situations compared to a lot of the good characters. Again, these are good characters, like, especially starting at maybe, like, Toon Link. Like, maybe there should have been, like, a separate tier of, like, upper mid tier. But, like, starting, like, here, like, these are, like, good characters. Like, they can do well. But I think overall, he's just not good enough. Next up, people are probably going to shit on me for this opinion. And I've been not a believer of this character for a while. That is gonna be Luigi. Again, this is a case of really just people don't know how to fight against the character well enough, which, fair, same. I mean, I lost to Elegant. But I think this character is too exploitable in too many situations to be any higher than this. He's very, very inconsistent. Very, very, very inconsistent. I don't know why Elegant thinks he's here. That's crazy to me. That's actually insane. He has a really exploitable recovery, which I just learned how to edgeguard, basically. He loses to, like, every projectile character. His matchup spread is terrible. Of course, his matchup spread is terrible, but he has the 0 to death. But also, just, like, if you just avoid grab at 0 and you just, like, get hit by, like, an upper on platform, like 2 uppers on platforms, 3 uppers on platforms, 4 uppers on platforms, who cares? Then you can play starting at 30, 40. Just, like, you know, space on his shield so you don't get up beat. Like, the actual really good thing about him, other than his 0 to death, and, like, obviously just, like, his skill potential, is, his edge trapping is really good, because plunger and down tilt are so annoying to deal with, because down tilt has, like, no lag, so you can just be like, down to shield. And then you just, like, get up attack and then get up beat. Or, like, you jump, and then he's just, like, jump up air. Like, jump, reverse, upper, back air. That happens. If you know when your combos are true and not, you're also not going to get hit by a down B that often. It seems less, like, hard for Luigi to do anything when people are playing correctly, and a lot of times people don't play correctly, which is fair, and I'm not saying this is, like, necessarily reflecting the current meta, because people are really bad at a lot of matchups because they're bad at a lot of matchups. But I think that he has too bad of a matchup chart to be higher than this. Next up, I saw the chat talking about it, is Pit. I think Pit's a little better than people give him credit for. Pit and Dark Pit, they're about the same place in the tier list. I personally think Pit's slightly better, but whatever, you can just pick whichever one. I think Pit's actually pretty good. I think he has a lot of good stuff. After the buffs, I think that really, really helped. He has down tilt to up air, he has down throw, forward throw, 50-50s at the ledge. Having down tilt as a neutral option is very, very good, and it's pretty safe. If down tilt's, well, it's minus 13, that's shield grabbable, and it's not, that's big enough. So if you're close to it, you can shield grab it, as most characters. But like, he has some good stuff. Nair is obviously fantastic, like, Nair's a really good move. This is wrong because it auto-cancels. So the last hit is actually on frame 25. It has 3 frames of shield stun, and he auto-cancels on 30 and onward. So it's minus like 5 or 6 or something. It's crazy. That's a really good, and that's a multi-hit rising aerial. It might be like minus 5 if you do it rising or something, I'm not sure. But it's good. It's really good. So he has the neutral. Obviously, the reason he's not higher is because characters have way better certain areas, and then they just ignore their bad areas, because that happens. Pit like has good stuff, like he's decent at killing, he has decent aerials, he has good air-to-airs. Orbiter is really good in disadvantage. It's so good in disadvantage, to the point where it's so difficult to hit Pit in disadvantage unless you have really tiny hitboxes to hit his feet. But he has a solid advantage state, solid neutral, solid recover, like, his recovery goes far. You can mess with it pretty easily, because he doesn't have a hitbox. But he doesn't really get off of ledge super well, in my opinion. I mean, I guess you can do ledge hop like Nair auto cancel. I'm not sure if that works. Pretty good. Like, I think this character is underrated overall. But again, still not high tier, because high tiers are just like really, really good in this game. Falco. Again, I think Falco is one of those characters that people just don't have a solid enough game plan against him and get hit by up tilt. I really need to watch Tilda more, because obviously online I don't really care about results. But I need to watch like the Tilda at the New York Invitational, or like I think he's like won a couple locals. But I think Falco is really, really overrated. I think if you're losing to Falco, you're just getting outplayed hella hard, or you're just running into up tilt a lot. If you just don't run into up tilt, you're fine. I mean, if you want to put this here, that's fine. Like, I think the next 4 characters could all be argued to be high tier. I feel like he struggles to kill if you don't get hit by up tilt. Obviously, you have like fair, like short hop, fair, fast fall, down tilt, which is pretty good. He has decent edge guarding because like forward air and nair. But overall, I just don't think that has enough to be high tier, because the high tier characters have like all like degenerate strategies, and I don't think run up tilt is degenerate. I just think it's good. Like, it is good, but it's not like degenerate. Next up is Lucas. I think Lucas could be high tier. Like, I think Lucas is actually an incredible character. He has a lot of cool stuff in his kit. but he just doesn't have quite good enough of a mid-range. If he had a slightly better mid-range, like forward air was a little bit bigger, this character would be broken. He has really safe aerials, he has decent edge guarding, he has some of the best two-frame in the game with down smash, forward tilt, PK freeze. He has good edge guarding with PK fire, back air, down air. He has like obviously really good tech in terms of double jump cancels air. But I do think Lucas just loses a couple too many matchups. Like he loses to basically like every top tier that isn't like Pika, because I think that's like even or +1. I think I put it in +1, but like he gets like demolished by like Shulk and Min Min and Palu and Wolf and probably Game & Watch and stuff like that. And like even some high tiers, like he'll just get walled out by, or like outplayed by. But I think Lucas is good. I think Lucas is amazing. But I just think he needs a little bit more, just a little bit more for him to be high tier. From Camp Lucas, I mean, I feel like he's fast enough and like he can poke with up air, and up air is like auto cancels and stuff. So like you're gonna hit people's shield, and then if you're ever right once, you get like a double jump nair on someone's landing, and then you get like fair and advantages. Like I feel like he's slightly too slow to have a better advantage. But I think like his neutral and like his, if he can like whiff punish someone, it gets really scary. Next up is Duck Hunt. So Duck Hunt might be high tier. He's probably high tier, honestly. Duck Hunt's really crazy. He has a ton of good setups. Side B's really good. Can's really good. He has a frame 1 out of shield, or a frame 1 get off me option. The problem with this character, which I kind of talked about it with Marth, but at least he has projectiles, that is fine. You literally cannot kill. If you don't get like the 2 setups at 85, can't kill until 170. Or like a Can you DI poorly. If he could kill, if he had like a kill throw at like 130, this character is top tier IMO. Like literally 1 kill throw at 130, like a Pikachu up throw, dead. I think Duck Hunt is a struggle to kill. Everything else is fine. His neutral's pretty good. He's pretty fast. He has good projectiles. Obviously, you can edge guard him as well. So, like, you know, the kill differential in a lot of Duck Hunt matchups can be pretty scary, because it's like, oh, they're alive at 160. Oh, they threw me off stage and hit my double jump. Can up B, and then you just die to like a spike or like a continual edge guard, and that happens pretty frequently. Like it happens enough that the character just is slightly less consistent than they should be. Duck Hunt with kill setups as Young Link, exactly. So, but I think Duck Hunt's pretty good overall. Like I think he has good aerials. You know, obviously opponents of Duck Hunt need to learn the speed of the Duck Hunt down B, because there's like all different timings and they're all the same, like depending on their outfit, it's the same thing every time. And then has to rotate through all of them before it gets the same one twice, I'm pretty sure. Didn't he have a kill throw in forward? No. Up throw at 180. Yeah, he had the same problem in forward. Next up, another character that people always give me crap for, and I mentioned it earlier, Cloud. I just think this character's overrated. He's the last character in mid tier. If you want to put him as the lowest character in high tier, fine. Maybe I'll do that so people give me less shit. But I think Cloud's overrated. I think people really need to parry his shit more, learn how to edge guard him, and like stop pretending that he's super top tier in this game. But I think Cloud is just really overrated. I think he's one of the worst swordsmen in the game because he doesn't have combos. He has advantage state, sure, but he doesn't really have combos. Literally, he has like fair side B, up air, and like that's it. And then you're done. Like he has good killing because he has dash attack and up smash and obviously limit moves. But I just think he's overrated. And like, again, he's so inconsistent because he has a really bad recovery and he doesn't have amazing other things. Like it's not like he's super fast. It's not like he has great rising aerials and stuff like that. Rip Spargo, again, all these characters can do well. Tilda can like top 16 a major probably and beat Light. Elegant is literally top 25 on the PGR. But like I think Cloud is just not as good as people give him credit for. Like you can outplay people with this character because he has solid enough neutral. But like, I feel like people just really don't parry. Like they don't focus on parrying enough versus this character. And it's like, oh, but then he's gonna empty jump side B. And it's like, okay, so then you parry anyway. Anyway, there's a character or two that I forgot, which are Meat Gunner. I think Meat Gunner is slightly like overrated because of just the online era. I think overall there's ways to deal with all the projectiles except for like neutral B on ledge when you're getting edge trapped. But even then there's certain times where you can just ledge jump off of it. So it's just matchup knowledge. Otherwise, this character has like good kill potential, great up smash out of shield, good backer, good up tilt, good down tilt. Down smash is very good, and obviously like the power missile can kill, charge shot can kill, the smoke bomb can kill. But I feel like overall this character, like you can smack the down B, that is the like little bomb thing, which makes it way worse because it doesn't really help. But like again, it's a lot of just being patient, walking and shielding. They don't have enough good grab combos to make like projectiles and then grab good. A lot of things to throw at you, obviously. Like they're a great zoner, so they can do well versus the characters that are slower that can approach. But I think overall they're just not good enough. Like they don't have combos into up air. They don't really have 50-50s into up air. It's not like up air is fast, so they can't like up air make someone air dodge dash attack or something. I mean, sometimes you can, but I think this character also is mediocre on platforms, but like you just have to watch out for like run off back air. And the other character I forgot is Robin. I think Robin better than Toon Link? Yeah, probably. I think Robin's like upper mid tier. I think they're a little better than maybe I give them credit for in my previous tier list, so I think this is probably the highest they've been on my tier lists. But he has stuff. He has like good aerials. He has good rising aerials. He has really hard to mess with 11 sword aerials. Obviously, the biggest problem with Robin is the fact that they can run out of resources. If you always had fire and thunder and 11 sword, this character would be like high tier, but you don't. So that sucks, because there's times that you can bait out aerials from this character, like 11 sword aerials, and then now he doesn't have a kill move. Now he has to kill you with like thunder, like the 3rd level thunder or Thoron. Which is really bad. This character can run out of recovery. They're very exploitable off stage as well. Arc fire is really slow, so you should basically never be getting hit by it ever, because it's so slow all the time. Unless they're either hard whip punishing for it, or you're on the ledge. But also people, again, similar to the Belmonts, freak out way too hard when it comes to them on ledge versus this character, because you just kind of drop off ledge and like get hit by like a couple of them, and then up B and grab the ledge again, and if they do it again, you just keep doing that and they run out of fire. Like, just do that in SDI down. Just don't neutral get up. Just please stop neutral get upping. But like this character, obviously, their advantage is pretty decent because they have giant sword aerials that are big. Like, they're really big. But at the same time, they're slow. So if you just run away from this character, or edgeguard this character, have better combos, or even better range, like this character struggles super hard. Like, they have some stuff, but there's not enough stuff. And that's it for mid-tier. Sorry, I forgot those two. Let us continue with high tier. The lowest high tier is Hero. Akka's been doing some crazy shit with this character, man. Oh, like high tier is all definitely super good characters that can all like do very, very well at majors / win majors, in my opinion. All the high tiers can win majors. Maybe with good brackets, not with like the hardest bracket possible, but with good brackets. This character has good sword moves. The rolling, again, you're not always rolling for things like kaboom and thwack and like the high reward buff or the high reward things. You're mostly just going about like, oh, Acceleratle, bounce. Like there's so many times where it's just like, this matchup is really like playing against Hero is so easily because like whatever reason until he gets insert move, like insert buff, whether it's bounce or Acceleratle or oomph, it's scary, right? So this character can be terrifying. I do think, you know, you obviously, like, of course, Zoom is like a savior for this character, because otherwise he has a mediocre recovery. If you aren't oomphing, you're kind of wasting your time. I love the fact that heroes have just started using Neutral B as like a get-off-me, like, landing burst option to kill people at 70. I think that's super smart. I think side B is really good and catches a lot of people off guard. If you're a little bit more patient versus this character, he struggles a little bit. But I think Hero's really, really good. The second worst high tier is going to be, as I've said in all my videos about every fighting game character, I think Ken's the worst fighting game character. I think his speed is less important than the consistency of his combos and the ability to use Fireball. It's easier to edgeguard him because you're not as scared of Tatsu. It's easier to SDI out of his combos because he has a multi-hit Tatsu instead of just like ending the combo earlier. His aerial pressure is a little scary because like up air Shoryu, like his advantage is a little bit better, but I think Ken is the worst of the fighting game characters. He obviously has some good stuff, like his down tilt is insane. But I don't know. I mean, I've been thought this for like forever. I think Ryu's just better. I think Terry's better, but he has a lot of good stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. Like auto turnaround's dumb. He kills super early. Decent edge guarding, focus, attack, like a lot of good stuff. But I think overall, I just think Ryu's better because he's more solid. Like Ken's probably like the more like crazy one that like, oh, you're not expecting stuff to happen. But I think Ken is like just less consistent, and consistency is so important at top level. I mean, yeah, like all the characters in each respective tier are very close. I don't think Cloud is significantly better than Ridley. Well, maybe Ridley, but like I don't think Cloud's significantly better than like Puff. Next up, Pichu. Pichu's still high tiers. This character's good. His offense and his combos and his advantage are some of the best in the game. But obviously, he's the lightest character in the game and dies at really ridiculously early percents a lot of the time. He loses out in trades. He gets two-framed. He has the worst two-frame in the game. And there's a lot of things he struggles with, like projectile characters, zoners, characters with really good out-of-shield options. But like, when he gets going, Pichu's terrifying. Like, I think Pichu is absolutely terrifying against like basically every character, but then sometimes he just doesn't get the opportunities enough. Like, he loses to basically like every top tier, but at the same time, he can just like burst option a top tier. He actually doesn't lose to every top tier. He definitely beats, like, at the very least, like, Falcon and Roy, and probably a couple others. Like, Pichu's really good. Like, Pichu's offense is some of the best in the game, especially because he has the dash, the roll cancel grab. So his burst option's like quarter stage for no reason. Pichu can do the non-two frameable angle as well. No, he can't. It doesn't work as well. He always is the one frame vulnerable. From when I was doing it, I could not get the non-two frameable angle with Pichu. But yeah, I think Pichu has enough to definitely win. But again, he's slightly inconsistent, and that's why he's high tier and not like either higher high tier or top tier. Next up, probably to me, one of the characters that people really think this character is like broken, and I don't. That's going to be Rosalina and Luma. Actually, I like people don't think this character is broken, but she's super scary. You really have to know how to kill Luma. Like, you have to look out for how to kill Luma, like very hard, or you're just gonna get blown up. Characters, edge guarding is good, their advantage state's pretty good, their disadvantage is surprisingly good because like downer is really big, they have really good aerial drift, they're super floaty, which normally is bad for a disadvantage because it's like it gives people more opportunity to juggle you, but in Rosalina's case, the longer she's in disadvantage, the sooner she's getting Luma back. Like, if you get hit and then just fall for an extra second or second and a half and you get hit 3 times, that's 4.5 seconds, Luma's probably going to be back way sooner. You know what I'm saying? Her kill potential is really good. She has up smash, forward smash, down air, back air, repeat, edge guards are really strong. Like, she's good. I don't know how big of a buff the side B thing is. I haven't really seen it. I haven't watched a buzz since then, so I don't really know what changed. Obviously there's 2 PGR Rosas in, well, the buzz like started playing Rosa at the end of the PGR, and then we had Ada, I think, was still playing Rosa. I know there's also a very good French Rosalina, I forget their name. It's like Rosa Pica, which is ironic. Rosa is like pretty scary. Like, I feel like this is a character I don't even have that much matchup experience against. Like, I just have Smash 4 experience, and so obviously they're worse than Smash 4. But that doesn't mean they're bad, especially with all the subs. Like, this character got buffed and buffed and buffed and buffed and buffed a lot. And now they're high tier. Like, I think they're super solid. I think they have a very solid matchup spread, and you really have to know what you're doing in order to beat this character. Like, this is a character, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know the matchup, you can't just, like, slowly figure it out because you're gonna get hit by a setup. You're gonna hit by a new thing and just lose stocks over and over again. So, yeah, I think Rosa's, like, very good. Could be better. Like, maybe is higher than this, but very difficult also to play. Because if you mess up, like, a single time, like, oh, you messed up your attack cancel once, cool, then they add a shield, they add a shield and you, hit Luma the other way, kill Luma. You know? Like, it's rough. It can be rough. Next up is going to be character I think is very overrated, but still pretty good. Sonic. Sonic could be higher. Again, I always say Sonic could be higher. But I really think people are just really, really bad at this matchup. Like, they don't know how to corner Sonic. They don't know how to pressure him off the edge. They don't know how to punish his spring landings. You don't know how to SDI spin charge. Like, I even see, like, top players get hit by that, like, consistently. They don't know which side Neutral B is going to go to when they do it on shield. He's really good, of course. If he has the lead, he's super difficult to catch up to. He has the best runaway in the game, or one of them. One of the fastest characters in the game. Yeah, they can't run through you, so yes, corner them. And then choose an option. Like, I do think they're kind of annoying to combo because Spring, even if it doesn't get invincibility super early, they still move up and it kind of messes every combo. Obviously, really good stuff about him are his kill potential with forward smash and back air, but those are mostly going to be it. I think that Sonic has a lot of good stuff about him. I just, like, again, this is the, like, hey, you're not as good as other people, basically. And, like, that's about it. I think Sonic's really good. I think the matchup spread that he has is overrated, because, again, I think people are very bad at this matchup. I think he is probably one of the least understood characters in this game. Like, I don't know. I think his advantage state isn't strong enough for him to be, like, top tier, but... next up, Orin. I think this character is good as fuck. Like, I know this character's slow, but the problem is, the slow characters have, like, bad things because they're slow, whereas Corrin still has really good burst range because of jump pin, and has a sword, and has an auto-spacing aerial that's pretty safe on shield in terms of back air. Has one of the better advantage states for sword characters in this game, because even though they're not fast, they have less lag on a lot of their aerials than the other sword characters. Their up air overall is so fast compared to other sword characters, and that shit kills. Like, Corrin is probably the 3rd best sword character at killing, maybe 4th because Shulk wall. But like, I think Corrin's kill potential is fantastic. You have back air, you have air into Dragon Fang shot, you have pin kick, you have tipper pin, you have up air, you have a kill throw, kind of. Like, it's better than the other swordy's kill throws, but like, it's still a kill throw. Like, I think this character, like, advantage states the hell out of most characters, unless you're, like, Zero Suit specifically and have Flip Jump, or, like, Mii Brawler for the same thing. Well, Flip Jump's way better than Mii Brawler's kick, but whatever. Like, this character kills you, and if they guess right, they kill you so early. And they have a counter, so they can deal with projectiles a little bit. Like, obviously, Pin isn't as good anymore in terms of, like, Pin Kick, but Corrin's really good. I don't really know why people think this character's super bad. It's like, I know it's because they're slow, but the problem is, a lot of the slow characters can't keep you in the corner and can't scare you in disadvantage, like in K-Rool and Incineroar. Like, they're not going to do anything to keep you in disadvantage. Whereas Corrin has back air and forward air and ways to call out your movement, and if you jump above them, they just start up airing you. And up air is so good for this character. It kills at like 95 or 100. Corrin's better than Cloud? Yeah, Corrin's better than Cloud. Corrin's way better than Cloud. I don't think it's close. I think Corrin, even though it's 7 spots, I think this is a big jump. Corrin's solid. And yeah, and the thing is, Corrin has the fastest dash shield, so their options to like run towards you are very non-committal comparatively. So I think Corrin's incredible. Like, I think this character is really underrated. I wish Cosmos still played the character, because obviously, like, Pyra, Mythra is better. And I know they're playing them, and I know Cosmos might play Pikachu again. But Corrin just overall has a lot of stuff. Like, I want Shattuck to go in at tournaments, because Shattuck is godlike. Like, I wish Corrin did better in the matchups that I want Corrin to. Maybe they do, and I'm just bad, because Corrin's kind of awkward to play, but yeah. Next up, Bowser. Bowser's high tier. He's a good heavy, but he's still a heavy, so he has the terrible things about him, like the disadvantage and the recovery and getting off ledge. But he has a lot of good things to make up for it, because he has a good neutral, because he has a safe frame 6 command grab, which is frame 9 out of short hop or out of shield, and it's big. Ton of damage, really good at killing. One of the best characters with applicable 2 frames in the game, with flame breath and forward tilt, and down tilt, but forward tilt is better, and it lingers longer. He has kill confirms, he has good grab combos, he has a better out of shield option than literally every other heavy in the game, by a lot in terms of upbeat. I think this character has a lot of good stuff, but then you can hit them and just kill them. Like, if you know how to deal with the Bowser advantage, like, he just dies. That's rough. His edge trapping is good because he has Flame Breath and Up B, which covers, like, everything. You have, obviously, if you get scared, like, he has the hard reads of, like, forward smash. He has, like, forward smash, down smash, up smash. Up smash is so good because it has invincibility on the shell, so you can't land on top of him. He has the heavy armor, like, default, just like the just standing armor. He has more armor on his moves, so, like, recoveries that don't snap the ledge, you can just kill, because he just down smashes through the up B and then kills you. It's crazy. I mean, I think Bowser's overall pretty good, but he's obviously still on the lower end of high tier, because he's too exploitable otherwise. But he's fast and he's scary as hell. But just, you know, don't be scared. Learn when, like, how to DI side B. Learn to, like, DI side B off stage if you're up stock or tied. Next up is going to be Wii Fit Trainer. I think Wii Fit Trainer's crazy. This character has so much stuff. The only thing holding Wii Fit Trainer back is they sometimes have slightly awkward hitboxes, and that Wii Fit Trainers will always side B in the exact same spot off stage. But I think Wii Fit Trainer is crazy. They have down B. Deep breathing is insane. Their ledge capability is crazy. Their edge guarding is very good with, like, down air and side B and forward air and back air and stuff like that. They're fast. They have a good dash attack. They have they have an okay grab, but they have, like, kill throws and stuff. They have insane damage output. Like, if they ever get, like, a Nair, they just do, like, Nair side B, and even if they don't continue the combo, that's, like, 70% for no reason in deep breathing. Like, they're a little bit exploitable off stage if you know how to deal with it. And, in my opinion, they have slightly too few bad matchups for them to be better than this, but they're fucking insane. Like, if you don't have a good matchup versus Wii Fit Trainer, I'm sorry. Like, I'm so blessed that I have, like, a 7-3 versus that character. That matchup's free as hell for Pika. God bless, because otherwise I would hate fighting this character. Like, they're so terrifying. They are terrifying. It's crazy that I'm like, damn, I'm in high tier, and I'm like, I have, like, half the cast left. Like, I have literally, like, half the cast left. Is going to be Big Link. I think Link could be better than this, obviously. I think Link has potential to be super broken because he has the infinite out of shield of a foreign frame, but no one does that. It's, like, a little bit too difficult to actually do. I've learned that a lot of his setups are very DI dependent for characters, like the Z-drop bomb Nair, Z-drop bomb footstool explosion into, like, down or forward. That's just DI-able, and I was like, oh, that was, like, a big deal for me. That was why I thought he was super good. He has obviously one of the best Nairs in the game. He has a pretty good neutral because he has Nair, big sword, 7 frame out of shield option in terms of up B, which I again thought was faster, so that also knocked him down like 4 spots for me. His edge trapping is really good. His advantage is really good. He's so strong. He kills people probably like one of the earliest on average in the game. And not even with, like, combos, but just with, like, forward air or, like, forward tilt and stuff like that. He does struggle with pressure just a little bit because he has a 7-frame option, so like a lot of aerials are safe on shield. If you have bomb in your hand, now suddenly you have a bad recovery, or like if bomb's on stage, you have a worse recovery. So, like, it's really you know, like two sides of the same coin. It's like, you need bomb because bomb is broken, but if you have bomb in a bad position, you're dead. Scary. Obviously, if you want to put Link higher, that's fine. I totally understand. I think Link is really, really good and has a lot of potential, but I just think the things being DIable is really bad. Next up, Sheik. I think Sheik is definitely high tier. She is a little too light and bad at trading for me to be comfortable putting her higher. I think this character obviously can be super good in the right hands, as we've seen with Void, because the character does a ton of damage for combos, even though people pretend like they don't. Like, Sheik does a ton of damage on combos. She has good edge guarding, she has good edge trapping, but of course, if you don't get those key hits at 90 to 100, she's gonna not kill you until 160. And a lot of characters first just kill moves. And so because of that, she's slightly inconsistent in tournaments, which is important, because a lot of the characters above this are just like, oh, I randomly have things that kill you, or I randomly have things that deal you 60. And Sheik has to like really deliberately try every single thing. It's difficult. It's very difficult to do that consistently for, you know, a whole tournament, especially against the other top players in the world. I think her matchup spread is pretty decent. Thankfully, I play a character that's very good versus her, so I don't have to worry. Yeah, Sheik has a lot of good stuff. Needles are incredible. Needles can confirm to so much with like short up needles, footstool, downer, up smash. You have, of course, raindrop. You have needle bouncing fish. You have needle back air. You have needle like into so much. And that projectile is amazing. They kept buffing this character to a point where she's definitely super solid and high tier. But again, she's one of the characters, kind of like Snake, which I'll get to that when I talk to him, is like, she's so hard in a tournament setting because you have to constantly get every single little thing, and if you don't, the character gets way worse. And it's not even like a Pikachu thing, because Pikachu has overwhelmingly good options otherwise. Or it's not like you don't need to upper bridge every single stock, you know. But Sheik, like, if Sheik misses her like 20 to 7, or like her 20 to 55 combo, suddenly she has to win like 3 more neutrals. So like, it's really, you just have to be literally on point. If you're playing even a little bit bad as Sheik, she's way worse. And in a tournament setting, it's hard to constantly play super well and never get nervous and stuff like that. Next up is Ryu. I personally hate this character, and based on my own biases, I would put him higher. But I think, who's better, Ryu or Terry? I think Terry's better overall. I've been talking to Riddles more. But I think Ryu's still incredible. I do think he's better than Ken because he's more solid. Tatsu is a kill move. You can't fall out of Shoryu. It's harder to edgeguard him because Tatsu is a better kill move. He's just more solid in my opinion. He's better at camping because he has Red Fireball. Red Fireball's super good. His advantage state in my opinion is better overall than Ken's. He has an easier way to, his combo routes are way easier and are less SDIable. He has a ton of damage. He's super heavy. Obviously, you can still edgeguard him, and his disadvantage if you have a multi-hit air, like a multi-hit juggling aerial, like Palu's up air is very, very good. But those are fewer and farther between, and the same thing applies to Ken, right? But I think Ryu is just better than Ken because I think him in center stage is way scarier, and I think his kill potential is way scarier because his Shoryu kills easier, and he has like up tilt, up air Shoryu, and he has Tatsu, like strong down tilt Tatsu killing is insane. And it's a mix up of like, am I gonna do weak down tilt into Shoryu, kill you because you're DIing in, or am I gonna do weak down tilt, strong down tilt Tatsu because you're DIing out and both kill at 100 or 120 with, you know, assuming you're not a light character. It's crazy. Next up is going to be Mega Man. Mega Man. I think Mega Man, like Mega Man's broken, but also is high tier. Like Mega Man's like also top tier, but he's high tier. I just think Mega Man struggles a little bit too hard in too many matchups to be top tier. And like, they're very relevant matchups. Like, I think he struggles versus Pikachu, I think he struggles versus Palu, I think he struggles versus Min Min, I think he struggles versus Mario and Game & Watch and Pokemon Trainer and probably Pyramithra. And like, Roy, Zero Suit. Like, he struggles with too many top tiers that are very relevant in the meta for me to consider him top tier. Probably loses like Pac-Man 2 and like Sephiroth, Fox and stuff like that. He definitely beats Snake and Joker, for sure. But like, I think he just struggles overall with too much stuff. And like, if you're wrong once on your pellet transformation or your pellet like thingies, you just die because his disadvantage is one of the worst in the game. Like literally, like under the heavies, like I think he's like next up for bad. He has like down air, but that you have to be super high up for that. Leaf Shield's very good, but it's pretty much always punishable unless they do the footstool thing, in which case they're putting themselves above you and you just wait again. You can edgeguard him so easily. His edgeguarding, his recovery is so edgeguardable because up B has so much lag and it doesn't have hitbox. And if they up E early, you know they're going to do that stupid air dodge to the ledge, in which case you just hit them off, and then there's like they're up E, and then you just short hop, or like full hop forward air, and like you're just gonna hit them off, and it's a very, very exploitable recovery. So their disadvantage is pretty bad for that. And again, in a game where a lot of people need that one opening to get the kill, you get the one opening and you kill Mega Man. Next up is going to be Ness. I think this character is bullshit, but he's not actually top tier because he has a few too many weaknesses. I think his mid-range is, relative to the top tiers, not as good. And there's a lot of things this character struggles with. Obviously, if you have a counter, you can edge guard this character super hard. His edge guarding, or his offstage, can be very scary, but he has a really good air dodge, and I think PK Thunder to recover is underrated because it's like the highest risk edge guarding in the game, and that's really scary in a tournament setting where it's like, oh my god, I won the game, I just need to hit this edge guard, and then you get PK Thunder at 45 and get untechable and die. I think it's underrated because the fear is very real. But also, he does struggle to get off the ledge if you're just like patient enough and you just shield the one PK Thunder they're going to do after they grab the ledge. I'm really bad versus this character because I think this character has a ton of good stuff. He has the best kill throw in the game, really good two framing with down smash and up smash. He has back throw. He has like literally everything kills, like up air kills, back air kills, nair kills. I mentioned down smash and up smash already. Like, and he has the ability to mash on a lot of characters, and also PK Fire is lagless if you land with it. So he's really good on platforms and he controls center stage super easily. So it's really scary, and obviously he has really good air momentum, so he can make a lot of his aerials safe because he's just like short hop forward air drift back, and a lot of people can't deal with that. Like a lot of characters can't deal with that. So he has a lot of magnet stuff. He has double jump cancel magnets to drift across the stage. He has like less double jump cancel magnet, but like magnet, second hit magnet, down air. Which is crazy. I think he can magnet a lot of characters' recoveries and then just like double jump nair. But I think he's, again, slightly too exploitable and has slightly too many losing matchups for him to be top tier. And that's about it. Like, that's why. Like, I think this character's broken as fuck. Terry. So, the thing about Terry, he doesn't have the broken, like, I'm gonna down tilt your shield like Ryu and Ken do. But he also has the tools of a normal character, which is very good. I think his disadvantage is a little worse than Ryu and Ken's because he doesn't have focus. But things like Crack Shoot, Burn Knuckle, and Power Dunk definitely help him get out of disadvantage. Obviously, Go is insane, and he has that, which is something that is clearly better than these two. He has an invincible up B. It's like invincible up Bs just, you know, can't mess with it when they're recovering. You can't even like get around it. Like, you just have to respect it. Granted, I don't think they're good at getting off the ledge, but they also have the frame even Power Dunk, which is crazy at certain heights. Their combos are really simple, kind of like what I talk about Ryu, but that's not a bad thing because you just get people in disadvantage. Of course, just to make sure, chat, DI his down throw, down and in, you never get down throw, up air, up bead, so he doesn't really have good throws, but he has like short hop fair rising, which is good. Yeah, I think Terry's just overall pretty solid, and he's like decently fast. He can play neutral with a lot of characters. And then of course he has like shield break setups when he has Go with like down tilt, up tilt into Power Geyser. He obviously has Buster Wolf. Like, his kill confirms are crazy, except for low tier and bottom. But yeah, I think Terry is terrifying. Maybe Ryu's better. I can swap these. Like, again, these characters are all relatively close, but I think Terry's maybe a little better just because he can play a normal neutral and he doesn't just get like super walled out by as many characters because he can like play normal neutral. And he's not just relying on run up down tilt, you know? I mean, he is, but different. Next up is going to be a shock for a lot of people. Inkling. I don't think Inkling's top tier anymore. I think in a game where people's advantage states are so key and people's advantage states are so important, having an annoying dash is not good enough. Having back air isn't good enough. This character does not have enough combos. This character does not do enough damage, even with Ink. And of course, can't kill. This character has 0 kill setups if you are not a character that just gets bodied by up throw up air, which is like half of the relevant cast, or more. You need rollers, you need up smashes out of shield, and stuff like that is really, really difficult to hit against good players. Really hard. If you want to argue them to be higher, sure, go for it. Like, I think this character struggles too much with too many characters. They struggle with zoners, they struggle with rushdown, they struggle with characters that can just randomly dump out advantage states against you. Like, you get a single hit, and then just like it's crazy. Does Inkling beat Snake? Hell yeah. I don't know if Inkling beats Joker at this point. I think Joker's just better and more consistent because suddenly you don't get those kills as Inkling, and then you get Arsene. Like, I don't think Inkling wins that matchup anymore. Their damage output with Ink isn't that good. No, it's good with Ink, But if you have ink, just run away from them and then shield on a platform, because this character also gets platform camped pretty hard. Like, I think the mobility is still good, back air still really good, so like Inkling definitely doesn't lose to like bad characters, in my opinion. Let's continue in high tier with Ike. Ike is really good. Ike is really good. I think this character is super strong. He has good neutral, great kill confirms, super powerful in terms of just like he just kills you. You have down tilt back air, you have down tilt up air, you have obviously nair into whatever. You have forward tilt, you have 2 frames with eruption. I think this character is really strong. I think if you, like, if there are characters that can force the initiative onto him in times where he doesn't want to, he struggles, and that is a decent amount of the top tiers. But he has everything that he needs to win. But he's just slightly not consistent enough to be top tier, basically. That's it. Like, he has everything he needs, but he just isn't fast enough to, like, just, hi, play neutral. And he also doesn't want to be the aggressor a lot of the times. He wants to, like, drift back with his stuff. He wants to, like, bait people in, but if they have no reason to approach him, then he just kind of hits them. Next up, the 3rd highest character in high tier is Greninja. Greninja's pretty good. A lot of speed. First move options in terms of dash attack. He has dash down tilt. He has a lot of confirms. He has nair, which is, I don't remember how safe nair is. I forget. He has nair, which is -3 on shield. Granted, he doesn't have good rising aerial, so if you see Greninja jump, you can just kind of jump up at him and smack him, or like anti-air him or whatever. I know Europe thinks this character is incredible, and I think this is slightly higher than I normally put them. I do think that Greninja has a lot of things that are less than desirable. Like, his recovery is really overrated. You can just punish his, if he ever goes for like a side B to like poke you with the ledge and you shield, you can just like drop off and down air or something. Like most characters can do that. I think if you shield a lot against this character, they struggle because their grab is kind of mediocre and they don't really get combos off of it except at like 0 to 30 where they get like up throw, up air. Dash attack is punishable on shield, down tilt's punishable on shield, so that's important. That's why I don't think he's top tier, is everything that he has is basically slightly too unsafe for him to be top tier. I think his matchup spread is pretty decent though. I mean, he has a good counter, he's really fast, he has a good projectile. Like, Water Shuriken's broken. Like, that's such a good projectile. But I just don't think he's top tier. Like, I think some characters just have stronger game plans and more solid things that you don't have to just like run up into someone and it's like, hi, we're playing the game now. And Greninja kind of does in order to do a lot of good stuff. The 2nd highest character in high tier is going to be Mii Brawler. He might be top tier now with the buffs. I think the buffs really help this character, even though I don't personally like running sets without Thrupper. I think this character is terrifying now because they made Onslaught better and they made Mach Punch better, which means that you have a vertical kill option outside of Thrupper, so you can have a horizontal and vertical kill move. I think that's really good. I think if you could change your moveset in the middle of a set, this character would be top tier. I don't think most rule sets allow that. Yeah, I think Mii Brawler is really good. He has good aerials, really good aerials. His up air is super good, his nair is super good. I'm going to talk about him a lot in terms of he has Thrupper, because he has literally confirms off of the ledge at 50. Like, you try to edge trap this character and you're wrong once and he goes ledge drop down, jump up air, short hop up air, full hop up air on platform, short hop up air on platform. Like once you're on the platform into up B. He has down throw Thrupper, he has down throw heli kick, he has nair heli kick, he has down tilt heli kick. He has a command grab if you want to use it. He has a pretty decent recovery depending on what set you use. Like, he's so versatile. He does lose a couple matchups. Like, he has a lot of good stuff, but he just doesn't have like the ground speed to really force the interactions, and he doesn't have a good enough. I mean, he has a pretty decent empty jump, but it's not like a Fox empty jump, which is why Fox is better than him. Yeah, I think Brawler is really scary. I think he has a lot. I think he has a lot of good stuff about him, but he's just slightly too slow to force the interactions, and he doesn't have a good enough projectile, so he doesn't have a way to force people to approach him. But also his kill potential is ridiculous. So yeah, like I think this character's good. Like, I think this character's so good. And the highest high tier, you could argue the bottom of top tier, Diddy Kong. Tweak is just beating everyone offline with this character. Like, not even beating everyone. He is destroying people with this character. I'm gonna do a Tweak analysis of his thing at whatever that New York Invitational was, because he's so good. I think Diddy is not top tier though. I do think that Diddy has a few too many flaws to be top tier, but I think this character is ridiculous. I think he's super fast. He has great combos. His damage output's actually super high. He has a hard to mess with recovery for most characters. He has a good neutral because he still has down tilt, and he has Z-drop aerials, and he has banana, which is generally good. I think Diddy's like so strong. Like, sure, he doesn't have an infinite, but he doesn't need it because he deals you 50 by hitting you once, or 70 by hitting you once. He kills really easily because he has down tilt back air and down tilt up smash. I don't know if you can DI those 100% because I don't have enough Diddy experience. Then he has barrels, he has back air, he has banana into forward smash, he has down smash, he has a lot of stuff. You know, he's got buffed a lot. And the buffs really help. You know, forward air being better is big. F tilt being a good 2 frames is big. I think they made that move bigger at some point or like linger longer or something. But yeah, like I could see Diddy Kong being top tier. I just think like his hitboxes are a little too awkward, and like he's not like overwhelming enough compared to a lot of the top tiers. But he could be top tier. Like I'd be down to put him in top tier, but I don't think he's top tier. And like the thing is, I would rather as a character, right? I know I saw like Tweak's matchup chart and he's like, oh my god, Diddy loses to Isabelle and Villager, or maybe just Villager, I'm not sure. But I would rather lose to a character that has 0 fucking characters, even like bad. Like I would rather lose 65-35 to Villager than lose 55-45 to Palutena. Because you're going to find 9 Palutinas in a tournament. You're going to fight maybe a Villager every 3 tournaments. You know, especially not good ones, because there's 2 of them. So like him losing to like random mid-tiers doesn't matter. It's all, like your matchup spread is definitely more important for a top tier and high tier. He doesn't really lose that many matchups there. I mean, he does, but like not like a ton. Like I think people are really bad versus Banana, which is one of the reasons I don't think he's top tier. I think people are overall just not great at it. At the same time, you have like Z-drop and Banana down air, which is crazy. His edge trapping is really good. It's not as good as it was in Smash 4. And now we're in lower top tier, finally. Yoshi's the worst top tier. I have put Yoshi in high tier for a long time, but the more I think about Yoshi, and the more I watch this character, and the more, and like Yoshidora came out and actually was in a tournament and did so well in Japan, who play neutral so well, and like in theory should do really well versus Yoshi. They didn't. He got 5th. That's incredible. He was in winter semis. I think Yoshi's really strong. I think his air mobility is ridiculous. I think he has the ability to do plenty of safe aerials. I think his combos are really good. His offstage is really good. His edge guarding is really good. Egg is really good. He has double jump, so that combos just don't work on him a lot of the times unless they're very, very true combos. He does struggle sometimes with killing, with other people can like play a more like evasive game, but also he can play evasive. So it's like in those matchups, it's like, oh, whoever has the lead is going to be doing well. Yoshi's really good, and there's plenty of good Yoshis in the States. I don't know if there's a good one in Europe. But there's good Yoshis in the States, there's Meme, Mexico, there's Yoshidora, and there's, I think, 1 or 2 other Yoshis in Japan. The character's good. This character is just strong. You have Braun, who's is the other one in Japan. You have, like, Suarez, and Meme, and Raptor in North America, and, like, Miles as well. Like, Miles is on the come up, too. So, like, this character's good. He does a ton of damage. Forward tilt's really good. Obviously, he can't be shield poked, which is a big deal. Because you can't shield poke him, and like so his neutral is going to be more solid. He has great out of shield options in terms of air and up air, and his up air is huge and just kills. And he has like he's so good on platforms, and he can shield poke everyone basically for free with down air. He's good. And I think people over exaggerate his bad matchups, even though like I think Pikachu beats this character. Like I think Pikachu does better against this character than I ever did. But like that doesn't mean the character like the character like I was like, oh, you're fighting a sword character. It's like cool. Play mid range patiently. That's fine. You can definitely do that. So I think. That's like a big deal. That's like a very big deal. Yeah, Yoshi. I think Yoshi's top tier. If you want to put Yoshi here, or even like here, fine. But I think Yoshi's really, really. Speaking of characters that I normally put in high tier but are top tier, Samus. Character's broken. This character is the most frustrating character, I think, overall. Maybe the second most frustrating character to fight in the game, or third, because like maybe in the game I won. He's so good. Joker, his Samus is incredible. Have Quick, have YB, you have. Those are the main ones. I know there's a couple of other good ones in North America, but like they're less relevant, I guess. Charge Shot is insane. It's like a top 10 move in the game, as I put in my top 10 move list. She forces every character to approach her except for characters that have really good reflectors. And even though, so you don't like, even if someone's not approaching you because you're doing Charge Shot, you just get half Charge Shot, and then you suddenly have a combo move that combos from a half stage into grab into forward air. Her kill potential is incredible because she has down smash on tech chases. She has obviously charge shot. She has up B, even though it's DI-able. She has back air. She has nair. She has up tilt. Her edge guarding is really good with forward air and nair and bomb. She has probably the best edge trapping in the game, in my opinion, because bomb is broken. Like it's so dumb. Like bomb, 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 bomb. Small charge shot's still good. She has so many like random kill confirms out of nowhere because of like half charge shots and stuff. Like you can get like downer at like 40% on characters into like charge shot. Into like back air or forward smash, which is crazy. I want to do that right now. Let me just try to do that. Like that's just a combo. Or that, you know? Like she has so much stuff. Like she kills you for like no reason in so many situations. Like, and then she has like this shit, which just like invalidates a lot of recoveries in the game. She like beats aggressive characters a lot of the time. Her disadvantage is actually very underrated. It's actually pretty good because like obviously like her landing isn't that easy, but like bomb is still frustrating to deal with, and if people overcommit the wrong time, she's just gonna kill you. Also, Dark Samus is technically better because her charge shot's lower. But I think Samus is like an incredible character. Like I personally don't have a ton of fun playing her like the way you're supposed to, but like this character's insane. She has a really good matchup spread. I don't think she loses a matchup worse than like I think she has like 1 or 2 -2s. Like that's it. I think Lucina matchup is terrible. I've always thought that, and then like Fox, and like those are my worst matchups as her. But like generally she's pretty good. Cause like she just forces so many guess situations. Like, oh, I'm charging charge shot. Am I going to shoot it, stop and grab, or aerial? And like if you're wrong, you take so much damage. She has 0 to deaths on multiple stages in terms of Yoshi's, small battlefield, and stadium with up air. So like you get down throw at 0 into short hop up air, fast fall, full hop up air, land on platform, full hop up air, double jump up air, up E. And like it just kills on like most characters, like on like every character at 0 on those stages. So she has like really good stages. She's just strong. Like the only thing she struggles with is if you have a really, really disjointed up air, or like a way to keep her in advantage, like PK Thunder or like Palu's up air or something like that. But like I think she's so good. Like I think she is absolutely fantastic. Like her kill options are ridiculous too. Like she's so good. Speaking of zoners that are incredible, we got Youngling. Youngling's ridiculous. His frame data is so good. The main negatives of this character are he doesn't have a lot of range in his close quarter combat options, and his recovery is kind of sus. His recovery is not that great. So you can edgeguard this character as a lot of characters, but like his movement and his speed and his combos are crazy. He has a good grab, has kill throw, and combo throws. Obviously it's a tether, so it's not good otherwise. But he has bomb, he has boomerang, which does a ton of damage. He has fair drag downs. Down tilt does like 12.5 or something. It's like a lot. It's like way too much damage. But like Youngling's ridiculous. Like Youngling's really, really good. I'm down to like I would put him higher, but I just think he's a little too exploitable, and he's not heavy enough to really deal with like a lot of like the, I'm just gonna throw kill moves at you. Because like he's a little light. So like that's another negative, but it doesn't matter as much because he's so good at just avoiding people, because he can also just run away from everyone for forever because he just goes projectiles. You know what I'm saying? But he's super good. Next up is Olimar. Speaking of zoners who are really good, Olimar's crazy. I think Olimar's insane. He obviously got a forward smash buff, which why the f did they buff this character? Super annoying. But Olimar is just a bit ridiculous, but at the same time, he does lose a lot of matchups. Like Olimar's matchup spread isn't that good, but the thing is he can just like snowball super hard, so it's one of those matchups that's just like, oh, even though he technically loses this matchup, but you got the purple, he got double purple for 35 seconds, and whoops. Like, that's gonna be a thing. Like, this character loses to Mario really bad, in my opinion, to Joker, to Shulk, to Palu, to, probably Roy, to maybe Rob, like Game & Watch, Peach. Like, the character loses to a lot of characters. Even some characters probably below here. But, like, then they just purple you, and it's so frustrating to fight against this character, because if you're not on top of everything at all times as the opponent, or as the Olimar, to be honest, but the Olimar players are all godlike. If you're not on top of everything, you're gonna get, like, hit by a Pikmin that you didn't expect was the right order. He obviously has a frame 2 armor. He has a decently good recovery. I mean, you can edgeguard it, but like it's hard because he can like zoom, suddenly just drop down, and it's crazy. But yeah, Olimar is pretty good. I think he's definitely top tier, but he's definitely lower top tier because he's just not as overwhelming as a lot of the other people. I mean, Dabuz is, but also Dabuz plays 3 characters at this point, so I can't just say it's Olimar. Next up is Chrom. Honestly, Chrom's a bit ridiculous. Everything about Chrom is fantastic except for his recovery. Literally everything. But his recovery is so bad that it makes him lower top tier. I think Chrom, his speed is great, his combos are great, his aerials are amazing, his juggling is fantastic, he's good on platforms, he's good not on platforms, jab forward smash, jab back air, his side B is good, I've seen the Rivers' videos, he's so good, but then sometimes he gets hit and dies. As I've mentioned, consistency is really important at top level, and Chrom is not consistent. He is less consistent than Roy. Where would Chrom be with good recovery? Top 5. I think otherwise he's broken. He kills so early. He kills so early. His forward tilt is so good. His edge trapping is so good. Yeah, Chrom is terrifying. He's so scary. But then, like, sometimes he just dies off stage. Next up, a slight demotion from my last tier list, and that's gonna be Falcon. I still think Falcon's broken. Character's scary. He kills people at 0. He kills people at 20. He kills people at 30. He's so fast. Raptor Boost has armor. His recovery is so much better now because of the tech check, or the uppy buff. And it's also good for offense, too. Like, he gets way better offensive situations. He has great aerials. He has good ground options, mostly just like movement and grab. His grab is so scary. He has a kill throw, he has pretty decent edge trapping because he has jab and nair and back air and stuff like that. He's just terrifying. He does have a couple bad matchups. He definitely loses like 10 or so matchups, but also welcome to this game. Everyone loses matchups. Like even the best character in the game loses 2. And like the second best character loses like 5. So like that's just how the game works. So it's okay that he has losing matchups because he can still definitely do all those matchups because it's like, oh, he loses to Palu. It's like, okay, well you get a single read on a neutral air and get a Raptor boost and now she's dead. Because of IDJ stuff. IDJ stuff is incredible. Raptor boost buff back in the day was incredible. I think this character's insane. I think this character's super, super incredible. And people don't think that. And I think y'all are all wrong. Coney, you think Bayo's a high tier. You have no stake in this conversation. The thing that is so funny to me about tier lists, and I will put this in the video, the thing that is so funny to me about tier lists is every single person in the entire game is like, my character's high tier, my character's top tier, my character's really good, my character's incredible. And then I make a tier list with 25 top tiers and 25 high tiers, and people go, ESAM, that's too many high tiers. You're wrong. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, but also the Belmonts are high tier. And I'm just like, ah! It's like, pick one. You can't do both. Like, ESAM, your high tier is too big. But also, Bayo and Mewtwo and Luigi and Falco and Lucas and Duck Hunt and Cloud are all high tier. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Yeah, Falcon's broken. He's too scary. His disadvantage is, like, he gets comboed, but, like, anything he gets comboed in almost every single matchup, he combos the opponents worse than vice versa. But, like, he has to get the hit, obviously, and he doesn't have as amazing of a neutral as, let's say, Pikachu or Palu or Wolf or Min Min and stuff like that. But, like, he gets the hit, he gets in. And, like, he has the ability to get in like, every character, like, at some point. So, next up, we have a character I think is slightly overrated by most people. Still a very good character, do not get me wrong, and that is Sephiroth. I think Sephiroth is a little too slow and a little too only neutral for him to be better. I know with Wing he gets some combos and he gets like multiple jumps and stuff, and his disadvantage is really good. And obviously he's top tier, he's broken, but like people consider him like top 5, top 10, and I think that's ridiculous. I think he has a lot of good stuff, but also no one knows the matchup yet because there's been like 3 events offline, and like it's just hard. It's hard to know how to fight him because he's kind of like Smash 4 Cloud, but like way worse. Or in terms of just like people don't know the timings of like when to parry and when he's gonna do what, and like side B's pretty good. But like he has a lot of good stuff, don't get me wrong, but I think a lot of his stuff is dealable with, and of course he is a big light character, so he's going to die really early against a lot of characters like Wolf, Min Min, Palu, Shulk, Pika. Like I think he's a little too normal, but he's not solid enough to be a little bit better. Like the next character, Lucina. I think Lucina's overrated. I've been thought Lucina was overrated. I think Lucina's advantage is a little bit stronger because she has better frame data. Sephiroth's frame data is a little too slow to like juggle a lot of people effectively, and Lucina's does not. He up airs and then forward airs and stuff. Like I think Sephiroth's really good. Again, top tier. These are both top tier. I just think they're overrated because their disadvantage states are overall not as good as people think they are. Their edge pressure is really good. Back air's really strong. They get solid kills. Their edge guarding overall is very good, but the disadvantage isn't great. And overall, it's just like, she has some good stuff, down air combos, but she doesn't really have combos. She has like up tilt up air, down air back air, down air forward smash if you get it. But like, a lot of the time she's just going to be playing neutral, and the thing is there are so many characters in like the top 10 that are just like, oh, I got the hit, dead, and I also have good neutral. So that's a big deal. Up B invincibility helps, but it's not like it's a big risk. It's not like it's a small risk like flip jump or Mii Brawler's down B or like Thunder. Like they're not big risks. Like Lucina up B, if you're wrong, suddenly they're just gonna like get like whatever they want, whether it's a combo move, whether it's a strong move to hit you off stage, and then your edge trap, like getting off of the ledge is hard. I think honestly Lucina has a worse time getting off ledge than Falcon does. He just has a slightly better recovery. I think, I mean, again, good character, very good character, but not super broken. Next up is gonna be a bit of a contentious pick in my opinion. That's going to be Wario. Wario got nerfed, and the nerfs matter in a lot of matchups because he's not going to anti-air people for free. Wario just has really good combos, don't get me wrong. Watching Pluto, if you didn't watch my last YouTube video, he's incredible. I'll put that in the link above me. Wario's still a very good character. His mobility, in terms of like his air mobility, is very good. He can bait people a lot. He can do so much good stuff. But again, the top tiers and the people that know how to play this matchup say, oh, you got full waft. I'm still running from you. He doesn't have a good mid-range at all compared to a lot of top tiers, or even some high tiers where he doesn't have the fast aerials like Diddy Kong's forward air, or Ike's nair, or Inkling back air, or dealing with pellets, or like Sheik forward air, where he's like, I have to like nair and hope that I was super close to them, because if it doesn't, the second it's not going to combo, and then I don't get anything. But yeah, Wario just struggles in a little too many areas for him to be super top tier or top 10 anymore, but this character is still amazing. He does a ton of damage, he has a command grab, he has a pretty good recovery, he has good edge guarding in terms of forward air and down air. He has scary edge trapping. Of course, he does still have waft, landing upper waft, nair waft, up tilt waft if you get the tech chase, or like a spot dodge read or something. But he just doesn't get enough anymore for him to be super top tier, like not top 10. I mean, I think my super top tier is I think 11 characters, so he's like 17 or 16 or something, which is still incredible. Like being top 20, 25 in this game is really, really, really good. But I just don't think he's super. His neutral is scaring you. Yeah, he wants to bait you into doing something so that he can hit you. But if you have the discipline, you just don't. Like, I think he loses to Samus, even though Gluto beats Quick, but that's because Gluto's top 5 in the world and Quick is not. like Gluto is just so good. Next up, Steve. Steve is insane. This character is ridiculous. He can kill you 17 ways from Sunday with grab, up tilt, down tilt, forward tilt. He has so many combos. So many combos that just kill you. He has a great up smash out of shield. You have to kind of approach him because you don't want him to get diamond, because diamond is broken, especially if he gets 2 diamond. It's crazy. His neutral is overall pretty good. He doesn't have a good mid-range, but really only a couple of characters can abuse that. Like 5 or so characters can abuse that. And also, against some of those characters, he just kills them. Like, Palu is one of the characters that can kind of abuse his mid-range, but they get grabbed a single time, one time, and they get down throw, jab do all the way across the stage, fair into block the edge, and he wins. He can block the edge. And he, of course, is super creative. He doesn't have that bad of a disadvantage because he has cart and down air and blocks. He's just so good. And people are like, oh, just camp him out in mid-range. But there's like, again, very few characters that can do that in my opinion. Like from playing Steve, I didn't feel pressured in mid-range a lot by like any character except for like Sephiroth and like Pyre and like Mithra specifically. Like none of the other characters bothered me. Even people like Palu and Min Min didn't bother me. Maybe Shulk did. His dash attack is pretty safe. Of course, if he gets diamond, he just kills you. No impact land, like 2-block no impact land are crazy. His grab is so underrated. I know you can pancake under it, but it's actually so good. Apparently you can angle it, which I haven't seen the video yet, but apparently you can angle Steve's grab. Like, he can get run away from sometimes, like by Zero Suit, but also if you're blatantly running away by Zero Suit, he's gonna get diamond, and like if he gets like tip or Zares, it's not gonna do anything, so then he continues to mine anyway. He just shuts down and invalidates so many characters. Because he goes, jump, block, 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 what do you do? Like, did you watch Vendetta versus Didi? He just couldn't get in, ever, because block just beat neutral. And then if they ever start hitting the lower block, you can just punish it with cart or dash attack or forward smash or grab, or you just build more. It's so hard, in my opinion, to just consistently overwhelm and outpace Steve. Because if he ever gets even iron tools, he just does so much damage. He has so many 0-to-deaths. Of course, you can SDI his forward air. That's like literally one of the most important things. It's one of the reasons I'm happy I played Steve, because I feel like I learned the matchup a lot more. But like his SDIing his fair is so important, but if you don't have the room to, or you mess up a little bit, like he suddenly just kills you. If he ever hits you, if he parries anything you do, because you're landing aerial once, you get parried, aerialed into like up air or up tilt, and you just die. Like, he kills characters, like he literally kills Mario starting at 30, and I'm just gonna show you some examples because I'm gonna make a video about this when I do like Steve guides, because I'm still doing guides. It's just hard. Like, let's go to Steve real quick. $40. Oh, I can just do that. Yeah, same route. And then let's just bump up a little higher, right? Like 60. The thing is, you can always follow DI. There's no DI on right now, but it will work with DI, trust me. Like, he just literally gets an up tilt of like any percent and kill you. So it's like, oh, you tried to land on him once, dead. And it's like, okay, starting at this percent, it doesn't have to go that long. Oh my god. Like, oh, you got an anti-air. Like, your opponent's jumping on you. So what the fuck? Like, I had 2 blocks on. Like, I had 2 blocks here, and they approached me. What did this? Because you have to play a ground game versus him, but it's hard to play a ground game versus him because he has block. And block is incredible. Like, Steve is insane. Like, Steve is such a good character. Like, it works from like 35, and that's with wood. So with like diamond and stuff, it works even earlier, and like iron and stuff. Like, it works forever. Like, it works so long. Again, like, that's crazy. His grab is so good. He has, like, you know, with Diamond, he has up tilt NIL F smash. He has F smash in general, which is a really good move and hard to deal with. He's just a good character, and people don't think so because just camp him, but, like, I guarantee you they either play one of the 3 matchups that they win. Like, Pikachu beat Steve, too. Like, so I'm not even doing this because, like, Steve bodies Pikachu. Like, I think they either play, like, Zero Suit, or, like, Palu, or Sephiroth, or, like, Pyramithra, or they don't know what they're talking about. But Steve is super crazy. Next up, we have, it's one of 2 characters. Don't know which one it is. It's hard. Which one is it? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Fox. This is probably the lowest I have ever put Fox on my tier list. Like 17. I think Fox is really crazy. His offensive pressure is the best in the game. One of the best in the game at the very least. He does so much damage, he has tech chases, he has dash attack, he has back air, he has great ledge trapping, he has a good jab, he has so much good stuff. But his disadvantage is arguably the worst of all the top tiers. It's like, Fox's is probably worse than Chrom's. Chrom at least has like a good air dodge. I don't know what he's supposed to do when he gets hit, besides die. Like, his recovery is better than people give it credit for, but still not good. And like, because he's a fast faller, he just gets spiked and dies. There are so many characters that can just mess with Fox's recovery very easily. And that's really bad in a meta where like you messed up once because Fox has to be aggressive and dies for it. I think there could be some optimization for this character still, especially with like the buffs to downer and forward air, but like just not broken enough to be like super broken. Because he's worse than Pac-Man! Pac-Man's ridiculous. This character is insane. His flaw is sometimes his disadvantage is bad if he already has Hydrate out. That's about it. Fills out the ass. His combos are good. His grab is amazing. His edge guarding is great. His edge guarding is okay. Downer is incredible though. His recovery is really good. His damage output's fantastic. Like, Galaga's incredible. He has so many mix-ups because he has a bunch of different... He has up air, which moves him. He has nair. He has, of course, Bell F smash, Bear back air, Bell up smash. Like, edge trapping is terrifying. He has so many setups. But the problem is he just does lose certain matchups that are just like Palu, like Zero Suit, like Min Min. Mostly those 3, honestly. There's probably a couple more. I know Game & Watch is even, which is always a matchup I'm like, oh, definitely beats Game & Watch. He does not. Probably loses to Shulk. Probably lose to Joker a little bit. Probably lose to Pyramithra. Like, character's really, really strong. Pac-Man's just insane. He's super clutch. He's super anti-clutch in terms of, like, helping... Like, it's hard to clutch versus him because he's just so annoying. He slows the game down to a crawl a lot of the time. It's just annoying. Pac-Man's super annoying. Next up is probably going to be the highest placing you'll see on a tier list ever for this character, and that is... Where is he? Kazuya. I think Kazuya is broken. I think this character is insane. He is theory top 5, but it is so hard to be correct with him so often to be top 5. I think he's super strong. He's 0-to-death every character in the game. He's good on platforms, people are lying to you. He has platform combos, he has tech chases, he can catch people, he has a command grab, so you can't just sit on platforms with him. There's some annoying things about him, like his auto turnaround's not that great. And obviously he has to play the game very different than a lot of characters because there's a lot of times, like for me personally, there's a lot of situations that I know I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna hold shield, wait until they do blank, and then jump, because I can just get away. And he can't, because his jump sucks, because it's frame 8 or 7, whatever it is. But this character is insane. Like, he has so many good things. Electric is the best offensive move in the game. It combos into literally everything. His kill potential is ridiculous. Like, electric up smash or forward smash just kills super early. He has combos into electric and from everything. He has an invincible dash that can go into shield after like a frame or 2. His movement's ridiculous. Like, he has the ability to just zone in. Grab literally kills most characters at 0. Yeah, he's insane. Because he seems like he requires full dedication. I don't know what who's going to drop him. That's fair. But that doesn't mean the character's bad. Like, that doesn't mean the character's bad. That just means it's hard. Like, I think Kazuya is one of the hardest characters in the game. Not because of his combos. I think the combos are easy. You just learn the timing eventually. But, like, his movement and his decision-making for this character is very different from a lot of characters. And he has, obviously, a ton of moves. This character's good. I think his disadvantage is not as bad as people think it is. I think his recovery is better than people give it credit for. He does, of course, have a reflector, so a lot of just zoner characters don't necessarily do well versus him. Like, I didn't really think Samus was a bad matchup, and Samus is like a general, like, keep-away matchup, right? I think the Steve matchup's probably pretty bad. I know, like, Pikachu's bad, and there's a couple of other top tiers he doesn't do very well against. But again, it's like the Wario thing, except he doesn't have to wait for Waft, you know? Like, he's just like, oh, if Kazuya gets the hit, he wins. But, like, he can't, like, good luck getting the hit, but also he doesn't have to wait 2 minutes for that. So he just runs up to you and goes, invincibly, and just fucking scares you. He had invincibility through projectiles as well. He can invincible through hitboxes. He has a ton of invincibility on his moves, like up tilt and stuff like that. Character's crazy. I think Kazuya's ridiculous. I think he's the second best top tier of this pack, or third, I guess. He's so good. He's so stupidly good. If you want to look at all my Kazuya videos, I did a ton on like 0 to deathing every character and combos and stuff. It's gonna be above me. Character's ridiculous. I think he's just super hard. Next up, Zoot Suit. Zero Suit Samus. She's like, I think, what, like 14 now or something? She's really good. She's really good. Good character. But the nerfs that she received do hurt. B not being frame 4 hurts, because not gonna be able to deal with a lot of pressure nearly as well. Like, people that have really good aerials, like, let's say Game & Watch's Nair is now safe. Well, once. Pikachu's down tilt is now safe. Roy and Chrom now have, like, everything safe on shield. It's hard. Like, the bad matchups she had got worse, in my opinion, because of the nerfs. I don't think she lost, she loses any more matchups. She's still ridiculous. Like, she's still so mobile. She's still, like, the thing that invalidates characters as Zero Suit isn't, whatchamacallit, isn't her moves, it's her mobility. Like, Zaire, and just running away. She just runs away. Like, if there's a character that's like, oh, they struggle with, like, you know, approaching because they're slow, Zero Suit wins. Like, 65-35. She's the best character at just running away from you the entire game, in my opinion. I think she's better at runaway than Sonic is. Sonic just has spin. I think Zero Suit's really good still, but, like, and I know the Japanese Zero Suits are even, like, fine with the nerfs because they're just doing landing up right now because it's still, like, -2 or -3. Like, her aerials are still dummy safe. It's just not Nair and uppy anymore. Like, Nair used to be -2, now it's -4, so she can get punished by, like, three frame uppies, so, like, Game & Watch gets harder, so I think that's even now. And Mario as well. But up air's still -2, so is there. So they just do this now. They're like, up air, and that's their mix-up instead of Nair. So it's a little, you know, it's not going to be as rewarding because Nair flip jump, Nair fair flip jump. You know, you can't up air fair flip jump, I don't think. But also you can get ladder combos on most characters. So this character still has a ton of great things, and it's still super frustrating to approach this character. Like, I don't know who approaches this character for free. Like, I can't think of a single one. Because she's just so fast and has flip jump. But, like, her defense is so good, even if her offense got worse, but her offense is still good, it's just different. Next up, the last two characters in lower top tier. Roy. I think Roy's really good. If you watch the Panda video on the top 10, I don't think Roy's top 10. I think he's slightly too exploitable because he's a fastballer, and he gets comboed to hell. And characters that have a decent amount of range can kind of frustrate him sometimes because they're going to be fighting at the mid-range and he wants to fight at the close range. Great combos, jab, forward smash, jab, side B. Well, jab, forward smash only works on DIN, but jab, back air, jab, forward air, jab, side B. His kill potential is ridiculous. He has, like, sour spot combos into sweet spot combos, so, like, his sour spots aren't even bad. They're just not good in neutral, necessarily. This character's crazy good. So fast. The pressure, the tech chases, everything about this character is super good. But, like, struggles to get off the ledge, gets comboed really hard, and sometimes can struggle to recover depending on the character. And against certain characters, you can kind of pick your spots where you're not going to get sweet spotted a lot. But then again, he has, like, run up, pivot F tilt. This character's really, really strong. But just, in my opinion, slightly out of top 10 because he has slightly too many flaws. The last character in lower top tier, Robert. Rob is a little higher than he was on my last tier list. I used to put him at, like, 20 or so. I've just realized over time that, like, even though he has a bunch of, like, 6-4s out of his favor and, like, bad matchups, it's a bad matchup if you don't get hit. He has all those matchups out of his favor, and then he down airs you, or he gets a gyro. Like, his combo game is so unoptimized by literally all of the good Robs, including Zachary, that, like, if they just did the combos, they would just never lose. Or they would lose only to, like, very, very select people, and Zachary already doesn't. Like, if they did any, like, of Lucretio's combos, not even, like, the more complex ones, but, like, this shit, let me show you again. Like, the new Rob meta, that one, it's so good. It just extends stuff so far. Because then, of course, he has, like, you know, dash attack into fucking... Dash is free. Like, there's so many situations where Rob just, like, wins for no reason. This move is ridiculous. Down tilt, of course, is, like, the best ground normal in the game other than electric. He has so many good things. He's a boxer that, like, kind of annoys you with projectiles, and, like, his mid-range is incredible. But, like, he's just dumb. And there's so many good things about him. Oh, in there? But yeah, Rob's ridiculous. I think, again, he doesn't have quite a good enough disadvantage state for me to put him in top 10, or, like, you know, upper, like, right here, but he's ridiculous in, like, every other way. Like, literally everything other than his disadvantage is, like, an anything. Like, his recovery's great, his edge guarding's great, his edge trapping's great, his, you know, mid-range is great, his combos are great, he has kill confirms, he has a great out of shield up smash, like, he's just good. Like, he's just good. But yeah, he's the bottom of top tier, which puts us into super top tier. The bottom of super top tier is Snake. I think Snake is incredible. I love the Z like Z catch grenade tech allows his camping to be super good. He obviously has a ton of good stuff with his camping and combos, but the reason he's the end of super top tier in my opinion is he is so hard to play in a tournament setting, because it is so hard, as Mars mentioned, to not get predictable and just like play solidly the entire time and like never mess up anything. Because if you mess up one thing, you might get hit and die, or take 70 or 80% because Nick's disadvantage sucks. But he has great two framing with down smash and Nikita. He has up smash ledge trapping. He has some of the best ledge trapping in the game, especially if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know the Snake matchup, you're going to lose. It doesn't matter what character you play. But also, if you know the Snake matchup, you can deal with a lot of Snake stuff. But like down throw, up tilt in general as an anti-air. Down tilt is incredible. His down tilt is so good. Well, Lycer's kill potential is out the ass. He kills so early. Down air out of shield's a great option, even though it's not really that good of a move, because you can SDI out of it, which is pretty big. Like, I do that a lot. He loses a lot of matchups, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, you have to like get those hits, and getting in on Snake can sometimes be very difficult. Like, he's a good character, obviously. Great character. He's super top tier. But he's just hard. Like, he's probably the hardest character in the game, in my opinion. But like, damn, he's good. So good. It's so hard to like play correctly versus him if you're not like me or Dabuzz or like Cosmo. Next up is Pyramithra. So I know I mentioned that like, oh well, like recoveries are bad for consistency purposes, right? With like Chrom and Roy. But the thing is, she's better because she has foresight, so she's not gonna get zoned by projectiles. And her overall disadvantage, other than offstage, is pretty okay because of fastfall air dodge. No, they're not Inkling, because they can kill. Because their advantage state is so much better than Inkling. And they're also neutral is so much better, because short hop nair, crazy. They do so much damage, their combos are great, their edge pressure is super safe. And then of course, if you are struggling to kill, you can just go into Pyra and like forward tilt, even though I think Pyra is significantly worse. I think Pyra is significantly worse than Mithra. I think you should play as Mithra 99% of the time. Obviously, their recovery is kind of sus, especially after the nerf of the air dodge. I think their overwhelming strengths get around anything negative because they're so fast. They're so safe. They're so crazy to play in neutral. The fact that multi-hit aerials are bad versus them, like Palu's nair and Pikachu's back air and forward air, like don't work versus character because they shield it and then foresight. Like foresight's huge and it can deal like it can get a lot of kills because you get forward smashes on a lot of these things. Like you do foresight roll against a Pikachu back air and then dash forward smash and stuff like that. And their forward tilts, like literally every move they have is super good. Even though down is probably their worst move, but it's still like good. Like I don't think you can really edge trap as this character, or rather edge guard as this character, but you still have like run off up B, which is good, kind of like Ike's, and you just do it over and over again. Good on platforms, they're good on FD. I think they're ridiculous. I think they're so good. And again, as I mentioned, even though they got nerfed, I still think they only have room to go up. Like in my opinion, they were going closer to top 5, then the nerf backed them down to like I think that's number 10. Like I'm fine also doing like this. Like that's fine. Like whatever. Like, I'm not really worried about that. Next up, we have Pokemon Trainer. I think Pokemon Trainer is pretty damn good. Again, as we kind of talked about in the Panda video, they only have to play the character that is working in a good situation. I think their matchup spread is amazing. I think they lose like to 4 or 5 characters, 6 characters, and they're all very doable because everything that each character does is really good. They all have different types of cheese because you have like forward tilt tech chases with PT. You have obviously like up air and down air as Ivysaur and up B. You have Charizard being Charizard. They're just super strong. And they're really hard to play against in neutral all the time. There's a couple things you have to look out for, like, you know, mash on Squirtle's F tilt at like 0, which is really important. Learning how to play against this character is actually very important. But he's so scary. Like, Pokemon Trainer is so terrifying. Like, all 3 Pokemon are just good in all different situations, and they only have to play them in those situations. Like, their recovery is pretty good, their damage output's incredible, like, all of them. Charizard's like the scariest character to play at a last stock situation in the entire game, in my opinion. Actually, like 100%. Like, I'd rather play against Arsene Joker than Charizard. Maybe that's a me thing, maybe I'm biased, but at least you can like throw Joker off stage or something. They're so good. Obviously Tweak doesn't play the character anymore, but like there's still plenty of good other Pokemon players, especially with Atelier getting better and Wid's doing better, and Haru is always good. I don't think PT loses that many matchups, or if they do, they're like swingy matchups because the character is swingy. Oh yeah, Ned, sorry. Ned, I think of Sephiroth now. But yeah, I think Pokemon Trainer is really, really good. Next up, we have Mario. Mario's dumb. This character is the definition of, oh, I killed you at 30, but also I have good neutral. His aerials are, like, overall, I think, the safest in the game. He has back air, nair, up air that are all very, very safe. He has great kill potential, obviously, with up smash and back air and back throw. He has great edge guarding. Well, not edge guarding necessarily, but edge trapping or, like, 2-framing with dash attack and forward smash. He has combos. Combos. He grabs you at 20 and you die. He grabs you at 30 and you die. He grabs you at 40 and you die, depending on where the platforms are. just kills you in so many situations that you have to constantly be playing perfect. And if you're playing perfect, he's not that good. If you're playing perfect, he's here. But the game is too young to constantly play perfect all the time. Because like all of his bad matchups, quote unquote, are just like, oh, they're like -1 because yeah, you swat him out the entire time, but then you're wrong once and he gets in and deals 70 plus advantage. Character's nuts. So much better than his Smash 4 counterpunting. It was already ridiculous in Smash 4. Like up air downer is dumb. Like his combos, he's good. He's good. Like especially with this current stage list, with small battlefield Yoshis, and PS2. Like he just gets 2 counter picks every set. If it's like a 3 out of 5, he just gets 2 counter picks unless it's 3 bans, which I think it should be 3 ban, 9 stage. But whatever. Super hard to deal with for most characters. He just like, and he has a great out of shield option. He has like tied for the best frame data out of shield option in terms of up B, which is frame 3. It's smaller than Game Watch's, but it's still very, very good. And like, I feel like if Mario's just did that more, just like, oh, you hit my shield, ding, instead of going for like greedy up airs and stuff out of shield, suddenly people would just be like, how do I approach this character? Like, I have to wall him out, and then that's it. You know who else is dumb? Speaking of frame 3 up B, is Game & Watch. I don't understand why people don't think this character's top 10. I think it's crazy that people don't think this character's top 10. He's insane. He's piloted by one of the best players in the world. He is the character, I feel like, that is the most frustrating to play against in the game. Or just overall. He has so many things that are invalidating of so many characters because he has edge guarding, back air, and down air. He has Chef for edge trapping. He has up air. He has nair. He has no you can't shield pressure me with up B. He has up smash invincibility. He has really good combos with like down throw nair, up air. He's just really good. He loses a couple matchups, sure. Like I know Meister thinks he loses like 6 or 7 matchups maybe. But like all of those matchups, except for maybe Zero Suit, have really bad advantage states. And all the matchups that Game & Watch loses, like Lucina and Ike and Shulk and probably Min Min and stuff like that, literally they get hit once and die, all of them. And I know because I've played all of them. Like Shulk shield art doesn't actually help that much. For Lucina, you just get up aired and then you get juggled for forever because they're disadvantaged about. Like all those characters have mediocre disadvantages except for Zero Suit. Which is why Zero Suit, I mean, honestly, I think it might be even now because of the Nair nerf. He gets upbeat. But like, he has some of the best applicable killing in the game because of down smash, forward smash. Kills you super early. It's really hard to deal with all of his stuff. And the thing is, a lot of his animations are ambiguous because of his blocky nature. So he just like, you can't hit him. Or you don't know when things are over. Like dash attack, I don't know when dash attack finishes because it's hard to tell because he goes, I'm done. Like, it's hard. Like, it's so hard to know that. He has literally the best ledge jump in the game because he literally teleports off of the ledge. Like, he's not moving, especially if you still have the invincibility from your ledge grab. He just suddenly is off the ledge. And, like, you literally can't react. You have to guess. His neutral getup's really good. It's really difficult to ledge trap him because he has ledge hop nair, which is huge, or, like, ledge hop up B, which is still a trash matchup due to her not being able to get hit. Yeah, but, like, the thing is, Zero Suit gets hit, like, Zero Suit also doesn't do damage to Game & Watch. Like, she has to only Zair and side B, and, like, that's it. Can't do approaching things ever because now everything is punished by up B. But, like, I don't think he has a matchup worse than -1, and all those -1s are really volatile because all of their disadvantage states are bad. But yeah, I think Game Watch is ridiculous. I don't know what Game Watch's flaws are besides he's light, and that only really happens to matter in like 4 matchups. Speaking of broken but not tie 5, Broken Peach. Peach is ridiculous. She has some of the best combos in the game. She's so tricky on shield. She has everything you want as a character other than speed. She has disadvantage mix-ups, she has a pretty good recovery, has a good counter, has a really good projectile, she has great aerials, she has float, which is the most broken mechanic in the game. If any character had float, if any other character had float, like float literally, if Peach didn't have float, she would quite literally probably be here. Like float makes her 60 characters better, 70 characters better. Like she's still broken. She has so much, her turnip combos just kill. But the problem is, as the game gets slowly better, like she's not, let's say Mario, because she doesn't have like the ridiculous aerial speed of Mario. Like you remember how I mentioned like, oh, just play perfect against Mario and he's worse. It's like, yeah, well you can do that versus Peach because she's actually slower. So like you can get, like a lot of zoners actually do well versus her because she doesn't actually have a way to deal with projectiles. So characters like Samus, Young Link, and even Villager, Diddy Kong do pretty well versus her because they just swat her out before she even gets there. But if you get the hit, it's one of those things that's like, oh, it's -1 until you get the hit. And like she will get the hit eventually. It's just, you know, she can struggle a bit more against like the really like hardcore zoners. I think even like Steve probably beats Peach. Peach mains under right here. I agree. Peach mains are like, oh, she's like here. But Peach and Zero Suit mains need like shut up. All of them. All of them. Say what I said. I just think she, like, as the meta, like, as new characters are getting, like, added and the meta is, like, shoring up, I think she's just getting worse. Like, she loses to, like, you know, Pyra Mythra, probably to Min Min, probably to Steve, so she's, like, 3 new matchups got added that are losses for her. Which kind of bump her down. I mean, otherwise she'd be, like, top 4 or 5, in my opinion. But she's, you know, 7. Which is still really good. Like, 7 is amazing. Like, this is so good. Like, these are all entirely meta-defining characters. And Peach is definitely one. Because if you don't know the Peach matchup and you can't camp her, like, you're... Like, if you have to fight Peach, you're screwed. 6 and 5 is hard, but I think I'm pretty sure of myself. Number 6 is Dark Pit. Dark Pit's crazy. No, I'm joking. He's just... I don't know why they don't get rid of Daisy and Dark Pit. I think number 6 is the best swordsman in the game, Shulk. He's so good. He does not play the same game as other characters, and not even in a way where Min Min doesn't play the same game, or Calzia doesn't play the same game, or whatever. Shulk plays so different. He has safe aerials, but they're slow. Really awkward to, like, hit them. But he has shield art, and smash art, and speed art, and buster. So he does so much damage, he has a ton of combos, he has crazy tech that just leads to people dying super early. Like, buster, down air, deactivate, forward smash, just kills people like 40% down air. Like, it's so dumb. He gets out of combos, so you literally can't combo him as, like, any character, except, like, unless you have very specific things, like Pikachu can still combo out of shield art, or shield art Shulk, but it's, like, very specific stuff. His matchup spread's ridiculous. Like, he's the first character here that's just like, yeah, he doesn't lose matchups. Like, he loses 3 matchups, and they're all 55-45 in my opinion, which is Pika, Snake, and Shulk. Sorry, Pika, Snake, and Palu. And he, like, goes even with every other character. He's kind of awkward to play, honestly. I played him for a while, other than, like, his tech, which, like, sometimes you don't even need. But, like, he literally, like, plays different than a lot of characters, because his moves are so slow. Like, his disadvantage actually isn't that good. I don't like being disadvantaged to Shulk, unless you have, like, jump art and just go to the other side of the stage. But, like, if you constantly are switching your alts, it's not going to be as good. You literally have to play so perfect versus Shulk all the time as any character. Even the characters that do well versus him have to play perfect. And if you don't, you're going to die at 50. He just dominates the game against, like, everyone other than those 3 characters. Because he has range, has safe aerials, he has good out-of-shield options. Well, an okay out-of-shield option because of, Uppy. That's big. And, like, he has movement. He's just, like, trying to, like, dash out of your way. He's just crazy. He's so good. And, like, there's 2 PGR Shulks, and I think they're crazy. Like, I think it's insane. Min Min. Min Min is probably, overall, the most invalidating character, or second most invalidating character in the game. She's so dumb. And a lot of what people struggle against her with is, like, not even optimized. Like, no Min Min has everything. They either have good neutral or good combos. I think the closest one is Proto, and Proto won a Japanese major over Zachary, and T, and Ken, and blah blah blah. I think Min Min is ridiculous. I do think she loses a couple matchups, don't get me wrong. But again, the matchups that she loses, one, aren't that bad, except for Sheik, but Sheik is not relevant enough for it to matter. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, you got the hit, but also I have giant arms, and I can 2-frame every character, and I can... She has something to beat every single character in the game, even her bad matchups. She has a good out-of-shield option and up smash, the nerf didn't matter. Like, it matters, but it doesn't really matter. She's just ridiculous. All of her arms are super good. The fact that she constantly has a timing mix-up to use her second arm means that you're scared and shield all the time forever. She has a lot of representation. She's the best counterpick character in the game, probably. Either that or Game & Watch. But I think Min Min's probably a little easier for the matchups that, like, you would use her for. I think she's so good. You don't think she's solo main? I mean, you can secondary this character, that's fine. But, like, I don't think her losing matchups are bad except for Pikachu and Sheik. And there's me, and then Void. And, like, that's gonna be about it for those 2. So, like, it's fine. Because, like, even her bad matchups, like people are like, Diddy Kong's bad. It's just like, okay, but just get Banana, and now suddenly you're shitting on them. Like, they have a way, like, Min Min has a way to, like, even most matchups except for those 2. Her neutral is just so good. It's so crazy. And it's like, oh, well, what about the rushdown characters? It's like, yeah, all the rushdown characters have bad recovery, just kills. Like, you know, it's like you think, like, oh, well, Mythra's just gonna get in there and kill her. I think Min Min versus Pyra Mythra is, like, Pyra Mythra's second worst matchup, or worst matchup. I think it's so bad. I think Min Min's broken. I think Min Min's absolutely ridiculous. I thought Min Min was absolutely ridiculous. I put her at, like, top 15 at worst when she first came out, and that was a year ago. I think she's so good. She has so many dumb combos. Like, she kills you from ledge at 40 if you, like, roll, because she's, like, down tilt into Ram Ram Nair, Ram Ram Tilt Dragon Smash, and just die. She has Powered Up Dragon for no reason. Megawatt's super good. Her edge trapping is ridiculous. Like, everything about this character is just amazing. Except for her disadvantage state, but it's not even that bad. Like, her disadvantage isn't even that bad. Like, people overrate the hell out of it. It's like top 50%, top 40% of it. Number 4, Wolf. This character's dumb. He is so solid. He's super solid. His matchup spread's ridiculous. I don't know who he loses to other than, like, Pikachu. And even then, some of the Wolves don't think that, even though I think they're wrong. That, but like, Wolf is ridiculous. He has grab, he has a good grab, he has grab combos, he has kill throw, he has some of the best 2-framing in the game, or the scariest 2-framing in the game. He has so many combos, he has Wolf Flash, he has back air, which is one of the best aerials in the entire game is Wolf back air because it auto-cancels for no reason. Let's do the math. How safe is Wolf back air actually? Because I know Ultimate Frame Rate is wrong. After auto-cancel, you go through 4 frames of hard landing. Oh yeah, you do. You're right. So it's like -3. Oh, I forgot about that. So it's -3. That's still broken. That for a move that kills at 80 at the ledge, it's like one of the strongest aerials in the game. Wolf's ridiculous. He has suicide. I don't know the cancel. Okay, so it's -5. Yeah. -5. And then like, but you're also spacing around it. So like, it's still really stupid. Like it's so strong. It's the strongest Samus's, but Samus's is harder to use and has way more lag. It's broken. It's so good. He doesn't really have flaws. I mean, his flaws is like sometimes he gets comboed and his recovery is kind of bad. But like, Wolf's recovery is bad in a way, unlike Fox's, where like everyone can mess with Fox's because you have a ton of time. Wolf's, you kind of have to be really good at edge guarding, so like the good edge guarding characters can deal with it, like Pika and Pichu and Shulk and maybe Min Min, like Pokemon Trainer and stuff like that. But most characters aren't going to be able to edge guard Wolf, but they can like advantage state him. His aerials are very good. I think Nair is overrated, but I think it's very good. He does so much damage. He's so solid. Like, there's never a point, unless you play Pikachu, so this is my bias out of it, there's never a point against Wolf when I'm watching Wolf and I'm like, oh, they definitely lost. Because their neutral is so solid, their whip punishing is amazing, their jumps are great, the air mobility is fantastic, spacing aerials is super good, Blaster helps, you know, hit approaches. I don't think it's like as good as people think it is, but it's still good enough, you know. Yeah, I think it's super good. And ironically, the highest I've ever put Palu after she got nerfed a ton of times. Number 3, Palu's the 3rd best character in the game. Palu was definitely a character that I 100% viewed with Pika bias before. 100%. When I still had her in top 10. It was 7. That was Pika bias. Because Pika shits on this character. I think Pikachu Palu is like one of the worst top tier versus top tier matchups. She's crazy. She controls the game at all times. Like outside of Pikachu, she controls the game at all times. Because she's faster than you, she has invincible moves, she has air, which is great against the majority of the cast, like the large majority of the cast. She has a good grab, even if it got nerfed. She has great advantage state. She has a good 2-frame with, where she has one good 2-frame, one great 2-frame, a good one in terms of down tilt, a great one in terms of up smash. Her edge guarding is pretty solid. Air is still relatively safe on shield. I think she does worse versus Game & Watch now, but like, there's nothing wrong with this character except for she loses to Pikachu really bad. But I think Pikachu like 65-35 is this character. I think it's bad. Paper grab's crazy. She has back throw. She doesn't really like. She struggles to kill sometimes, but like she can just continue to play neutral. And for the most part, the characters she's going to struggle with also can't kill. Like in terms of the neutral part. So like she's fine. Like she literally just beats so many characters. She just nairs like every character that's like half of high tier and lower. She just nairs and wins. She's so fast. She has a great empty jump. She has a good down tilt. She has good ways to punish spot dodges with like her down tilt, up tilt. She has nair, up tilt has a kill confirm. Up tilt's so strong for no reason. She has a lot. She has so much. I don't even know if Paloops are real. I don't think they are from like what like Fuji King said before. I don't think those are real. But Palu's ridiculous. Palu's so good. I'm glad I never have to worry about that character because I have a 65-35 and I have lost to like one Palu in tournament ever. And then I'm 4-1 with them. And Palu's definitely necessary for the meta because she checks a lot of like the more like degenerate characters, but also I don't go let the degenerates run. Pikachu also beats them. Number 2. What if I just put Pikachu number 2? What if I just did this? What if I just did that? And at least check. Online doesn't count. Joker's number 2. Joker's good. He loses more matchups than Pika, which is the main reason I do this, but Joker's ridiculous. He's one of the hardest characters to hit. His neutral is incredible. His combo game is incredible. He has so many drag downs. He has combos that last forever. He's really good on platforms. Arsene. Like, his recovery is a little bit easy to deal with sometimes, which is like his negative. And sometimes he can struggle in mid-range against certain characters. Like Mega Man, like Inkling. Like Mega Man beats this character. Like Pichu beats this character. I think Joker loses like 4, 5, 6 matchups. But also, they're all obviously doable because Arsene's ridiculous. He's so mobile. He has down or up smash. He has, you know, fair up air drag down, down smash, or up smash depending on platform or not. kills so easily, even without Arsene, with like back air and like forward tilt off stage, just edge guarding, edge trapping. Gun is a thing. Gun's ridiculous. Side B is still really good, even though it's gotten nerfed a couple times. Rebel's Guard is good. Petricorn is good, and Karacon, whatever the projectile one. Like he has a great counter that just invalidates a lot of characters' recoveries. He can get Arsene multiple times to stock, which is why Arsene is better than one with Angel. Why does he start with 30% meter when he dies? I think that's really dumb. I think that's really, really dumb. Well, he does so much damage, and then the thing is, he doesn't even have to play aggressive. He can just run from like 85% of the cast. He just runs, and then slowly gets Arsene, and then just Arsene. Also, he has up air infinite. Up air, 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 like the fastball. I don't know why they haven't nerfed that yet. I would love for them to nerf up air, drag down. I like how plus it is. That'd be great. He's just everything. He has everything. He literally has everything except for a super broken recovery. By the way, who has a super broken recovery? Pikachu. So obviously, Pikachu's busted. Nice as hell. But he has a lot of good things about him. I think that Pikachu, one, is the only character that hasn't been nerfed in the game. Has the best edge guarding in the game. Has really broken combos. Because he has Nair Loops and Up Air Bridges. I think Up Air Bridge is the only reason Pikachu is the best character in the game. I think if Up Air Bridge didn't exist, he'd be second or third. But it just works on so many relevant characters. So many relevant characters. Like, it's a full bridge on Joker, Alu, Wolf, Min Min. I think Mithra, Snake, Rob, Roy, Zerasu, Kazuya, Wario, Sephiroth, Falcon, Chrom, Youngling. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, these are all very easy to bridge characters. And they're, like, all the good characters. And there's more. There's, like, Diddy and Cloud and the Belmonts and... Like, he has so many things that just are so dumb in, like, every matchup. Like, back air just getting off stage. Like, I win... Like, literally, if back air was worse or didn't always send backwards, I would have, like, 5 to 8 more losing matchups. Or at the very least, like, no 7-3s. Because there are so many characters that, like, the Belmonts that are kind of annoying, but then I back air them and I win. Same with Cloud. Same with Robin. Well, Robin is bad for other reasons. You can't really bridge Game & Watch. You have to have platforms to bridge Game & Watch. But he's super hard to hit. He's super annoying. He's very short. He's very fast. Quick attack is broken. Does Pikachu have a bad move? His worst move is forward tilt, in my opinion. And forward tilt is still pretty good. It's a 2-framing move, and it's a frame 6 normal that does like 12. His matchup spread is ridiculous. Like, even with a negative matchup spread, he has like 3 losing matchups and like 6 even matchups, and that's it. And that's like a pessimistic matchup chart. Because it's like you lose to like Game & Watch, Mario, Ness, and Lucas. And then like even with like Pac-Man, Yoshi, Lucina, Snake, Yoshi, fucking Olimar. And like that's it. And then he still beats everyone else. Like that's a pessimistic chart. I went over the matchup chart yesterday with Shiny Mark. We think Pikachu loses definitively 1 matchup, maybe 0 matchups, or maybe 2 matchups, but maybe also 0 matchups. He's ridiculous. He has Thunder Jolt, which just Thunder Jolt approaching beats 90% of the characters in this game. Back air by itself beats 90% of the characters in this game. His combos beat 90% of the characters in this game. Like, every single thing is just so good for him. His matchup spread is so ridiculous, especially considering the matchups that he has that are losing, other than Meister, are pretty not relevant. Like, there's like 3 Nest players and like 1 Game & Watch player. Like, he's the, like, there are so many times in this tier list that I'm like, yeah, like something. I know Pikachu beats this character, but whatever, let's continue to talk about them as if that doesn't happen. Great juggling, great mid-range, quick attack's ridiculous, forward air is safe on shield against not 3-frame uppies, just dominates every character in like one aspect of the game. Whether it's neutral, whether it's mid-range, whether it's recovery, whether it's edge guarding, whether it's juggling, like something. Like, something is always in your favor in every matchup, even the matchups you lose. Because, like, even Game & Watch, like, I think Pikachu's neutral is better than Game & Watch, so if you just play neutral better, you can win. But, like, Pikachu's broken. He's super good. There's so many things, like, the hardest thing about this character, I mean, Pikachu, you know, when we were talking about, like, when me, Waddy, and Mars were talking about the hardest characters in the game, they agreed that Pikachu was, like, the 2nd hardest character in the game. Because, ironically, he has so many good options. He has so many good options that it's hard to pick the right one all the time. Because if you pick the wrong one, it's hard, and if you mess up your combos, you're wrong, you know? But I think Pikachu's ridiculous. I don't think there's a single flaw for this character, except for sometimes you can't be super reckless. Like, that's it. Because especially with the stuff that we know, like, a different one of Pikachu's flaws is he gets 2-framed sometimes by characters, like Sonic Sports Smash and stuff. But, like, there's non-2-frameable angles, which are so dumb. Like, you can just not get 2-framed as Pikachu, which is ridiculous, because he also, like, gets off the ledge for free against almost every character in the game. He has combos that are better than almost every character in the game. Short. Like, there's no flaw. There's zero flaws. The flaw is he's hard. And that's literally it. Like, it's just Pikachu's hard.
Pikachu busted.